afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Ohio State women's basketball team was victorious in their Big Ten tournament opener, beating Indiana 83-59. They're back at it this afternoon in Indy, taking on Minnesota. Tip time will be around 2:30. Tyler Danberg and Kristen Watt have the call over on the Fan 2 beginning at 2:10. The Ohio State men's team wraps up the regular season tomorrow night when they host Indiana at 5:30. It's senior night over at the Shot. You can hear it right here on the Fan, starting with the Fan warm-up show at 4:30. The NHL's trade deadline today at 3 p.m. The Blue Jackets made a move late last night, acquiring forward Connor Garland from the Vancouver Canucks. The CBJ hosting the Utah Mammoth tomorrow night at 7. This one's sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co., locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office? Back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going up.
All right, here we go. We launch right into it. Rothman and Ice, good to have you aboard. Big Friday. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon. Good to see you, fellas.
What up, what up? Good to see you as well. We made it to another weekend, man. And like you said, a lot of things happening in the sports world. And so, yeah, a lot to unpack and looking forward to the weekend, my man. You good over there?
Yes, NHL trade deadline at 3 o'clock. Jackets make a move in the midnight hour. You woke up to that one. So and I don't really believe this was because Marchment got dinged up last night, and this wasn't a panic move. I think they were in on Connor Garland. Most people have been, and this is a classic Jacket. I think you're going to love the way he plays hockey. He's not a big dude. In fact, I saw the Jackets listing him at 5'10", and I'm like, okay, you should have probably wrote on skates, because I maybe he's 5'8". Like, I think he's actually, you know who I think he is? I think he's Cam. Cam could finish, but Connor Garland has a great engine, and I think people are going to love him. You didn't go out and get like a 40 goal scorer. This isn't this guy, but he can play on either side. He's a right-hand shot. I think he's 5'8", but probably plays a lot bigger than that. And from the people in the hockey world and people I've talked to, even this morning, like he is going to be around that puck a lot. He is going to be around the net a lot. He is going to be relentless and play relentless. And I think he's going to make plays in traffic and get to the net. And I had heard years ago that the CBJ was interested in him years ago. And he's 29, and he comes with a 6-year extension. And at first I thought, all right, that's a big contract. But with the cap going up, this takes him to 30, 36 years old. His price was okay at 6 times 6, and I looked at his stats this year because he hasn't really done much, but their team is a wreck. So I'm not really worried about the production from this year. But if he's a 17 to 20 goal guy and a 40 to 50 point guy, I think you're just going to really like how he plays. Now, there's a whole nother layer to this because of the Marchment injury, Matty. And so that's the interesting part. And you get him because right now where the Jackets are, and they did so well last night and I believe, I think we've been on, thank goodness, on the right side of 2 goalie interference calls, which have been, CBJ fans will say, yeah, there were still owed about 20 of them. Exactly. But I think against the Rangers in that one, those were ones that could have gone either way, and they went our way. But I think where you are in the standings right now and what they got and the help they got last night, the one thing you don't want to lose is momentum. And they have it. Mm-hmm. And they're leaning into that momentum. As much as Ryan Baker didn't want them to and told us the other day that he was going to burn this building down and theirs if they didn't get rid of Coyle, Marchment, and Boone. But now that they have Connor Garland, they may as well go for Lord Stanley's Cup. So he is back on board. And he knows I love him. Middle six, I think this is a durable guy. I think he can lead. I think he's going to be great with us. He's going to be great with the media. I think he's a good team guy, good room guy. And now what happens is that when I asked Don, I think I asked Don this, I've asked Jean-Luc this, about where does KJ fit in. And what this tells me is I don't think he's in any rush to trade KJ. I really don't. I heard him last night on the broadcast, and don't get me wrong, I don't expect him to talk negatively about a player that maybe he wants to move. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's lying either. I'm just saying he's talking in the right way. But I heard him last night say, we got to stick with him. Now, I've been around long enough, you've been around long enough to know that when a GM says you got to stick with him, what that means is I got to stick with him until I don't. And I don't think he's moving him today unless he is the closing piece on a deal for Robert Thomas. And I don't know where that stands. I think you could dangle a first in KJ and get it done. And I'm not here to tell you it's going to happen. But I'm here to tell you that with the deal they got for Connor Garland and the contract that comes with him, there's a chance that if KJ didn't have a good last 15 games or whatever, that this summer, that there may be another layer to this. Yeah. That's just my spidey sense going off. I know that KJ, who scored 24 last year, who is a scorer and doesn't check all the boxes that I believe Connor Garland checks, because I think that box is bigger than KJ's, that you run the risk, you know, the old sell high, buy low, sell high. You're right now in an area, as I just ramble, is that KJ is a guy that you probably could still sweeten a great deal with. The further you go away from that, the further he becomes a little more distant from that 24-goal season,
the harder it is.
You lose the sweetened part of it. So I like this deal from last night that came around midnight. If they don't see a jump this season from KJ at the end here, if this doesn't lead to a playoff jump or whatever for him, then then you can land a big fish with him and a first.
And you got to have a team, obviously, on the other side that believes that we bring KJ into our building, that where the Jackets drafted him at 5th, we can bring that potential out of him. Because, to your point, we saw it last year. This year, for whatever reason, it's just not happening out there on the ice. And usually sometimes as well, when you are a guy that's drafted as high as he was, the organization that drafts you is going to give you plenty of opportunity to go out there and show why we believed in you. And so I don't know where that's headed. It has been a bit of a disappointment, no doubt, because when you look at Fantilli, you look at Z, you look at the core pieces of this team, he was supposed to be smack dab in the middle of that success. And so it's in there because we've seen it. But now he's really got to go, and now you bring in a guy like Garland. And sometimes what a franchise does, too, is they can send a message to guys like Kent Johnson or maybe elsewhere and say, okay, well, if you're not getting it done, we're going to bring somebody else in that we believe can get it done. And so the interest around the league is definitely going to be fascinating to see. On the Garland front, for me, hopefully he can get it going, because the production right now at the moment hasn't been very good. I know we talked about where Vancouver is as a team, and it has not been a good year for sure. But he hasn't scored a goal since December 19th. And so when you're brought in with that contract, there's going to be an expectation for you to come in and be more productive than where you've been in the past. Over the last few years, he has been a productive player. This guy's played over 530 career games in the NHL, so he knows what the heck he's doing. I always love adding a vet into a locker room to where a team is scratching and clawing to get into the postseason as the Jackets are. But that's what I just want to see, AR, is hopefully a change of scenery for him and a recharge here and energy, hopping on a train where a team is fighting for a playoff spot. That'll get him in order, because right now it's a little quiet for him on the stat sheet.
Oh, he's coming in to a team that has momentum, a team that's on the bubble, a team that's right there on the outside of the playoffs, ready to get in. He brings a battle-tested feel, like you say, and I do feel like he is going to bring energy, and you will not have to look to find him. Trust me.
You'll feel his presence,
You won't.
Okay.
You will almost want to say, Move. Get away. You're always
doing a little too much.
Always in stuff.
But that's the best for a coach.
Oh, no.
And I have to imagine Slick Rick is going to love that because when he had his initial press conference, Rick Bowness, he talked about how he wanted to crank up the level of intensity with this team. And so getting a guy like that, you'd rather have a guy that you have to slow down as a coach opposed to a guy that you have to tell, hey, let's get going.
I look at it very, very cut and dried. Because they gave, by the way, if I haven't said it already, they gave back a second and third pick to Vancouver for Connor Garland. If you could have gotten Connor Garland that talent for a second rounder, like in a draft, like if you caught him in a draft as a second rounder, you'd run to the podium. Honestly, this was a very, very good trade, I believe. He's not going to jump off the stat sheet right now. So I don't want people to get caught up in that. What you should be understanding from what I'm trying to tell you is that you will not have to look to find this guy. He's going to make plays, and he's going to be around for a while because I think he also has a 3-year no. In the first 3 years, I think it's a no movement. So the other part, and we'll get to this, and by the way, we'll keep you up to date on all the stuff with the NHL trade deadline. EJ Raddick from the NHL Network, their senior reporter, is going to jump on at 1 o'clock, and we'll dangle some of that in front of him. We'll get into some Ohio State football next, but before we do that, there was another potential nostalgia trade that could have happened that's not going to. I'll tell you why it's probably a good thing. That's next. Rothman and Ice on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer & Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in just 1 day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer & Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's C-O-M-E-R cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Looking to level up your backyard or game room? Head to Billiards Plus in Dublin. From premium grills that turn every cookout into a feast to stunning pool tables and shuffleboard tables that bring the fun home, they've got everything you need to play in style. And don't forget their authentic pizza ovens, perfect for crafting restaurant quality pies right in your backyard. Proud presenting sponsor of 97.1 The Fan's Pizza Madness. Billiards Plus is where great games and great food come together. Family owned and operated since they opened. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
Some foot issues just can't be fixed by those expensive shoe stores or shoe inserts. A foot exam from a doctor of podiatric medicine, who is the medical expert in foot and ankle care, may give solutions after doing a complete foot examination. If you suffer from foot, heel, or ankle pain, let us help you find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association so you know you are being treated by the very best.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies and highs soaring into the mid-70s. We do have an isolated chance of showers and thunderstorms, though, in the afternoon. Otherwise, we remain mainly dry as we go into tonight. Partly cloudy skies, breezy winds, and lows in the 60s. For Saturday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with breezy winds, some which could be on the stronger side. Otherwise, we'll have partly cloudy skies and highs in the mid to low 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. Like trying to snap a picture of Bigfoot. Nobody has ever witnessed Maddie eating a carb. This is Rothman and Ice.
I was going to say that we already have a number 8. So what is Connor Garland going to do?
Got to go to something else. He ain't giving that up. Ain't no way.
No.
Well, unless he comes in with a... Actually, I would love to ask Z. No, just remind me, though, when we talk to Z next, what the number would have to be for him to come off number 8.
I know there's an old phrase, everything's for sale. But I'm going to predict right now he would say, out of respect... he wouldn't say this. I'll say it. Out of respect for him, that's not even asked. Okay? This is maybe the best defenseman in the league who just won a gold medal for our country. You don't even ask.
I mean, we see certain guys that go to the NFL and ask for numbers for guys that are Hall of Famers.
They're not playing anymore. He's playing.
No, I'm saying like rookies coming in. We had the whole Cam Ward situation this past year. So some guys have the audacity.
Oh, Abdul Carter asked for both.
That's what I'm saying.
He asked for 56, then he asked for 11.
Some of these guys have the audacity to do it.
But what I'm saying is he was asking about retired numbers.
Yeah.
He's not asking the number off someone's back.
I think that's worse. Asking for a retired number.
Well,
hello.
Lars? Maybe that
it's got to be a gong-related text.
Maybe Z was listening. No, I'm not going to tell you. He's got a new number. He's got part of 8. He's going with 83. So he got part of 8 at no cost.
Okay.
Must not be Whiskey Paul if you're not saying who texted
At no cost. That's a win, right?
Elegant Farmer?
Wait a minute. Are you going to answer this? He got part of number 8 at no cost. Is that a win?
Sure.
No.
I mean, yeah.
He got his number is on his jersey. We just added a 3.
Now I want to know what the 3 represents.
83 was his old number in Arizona.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's been 8 for a while, right?
He has been in Vancouver, yes. Yeah. So how I would do it if I were an athlete, every new team I'd go to, I'd have a different number. Because what I would hate to do, I'd hate to have one number for 8 years of my career, and then in the final season I get traded somewhere where it's taken, and then I have to have some obscure number, and then it's that just ruins the uniform. So I would change it up everywhere I go. I'd have a new identity.
Not mad at it.
But your number's your number, man, and this is a cool thing. So somebody asked me what about Nick Foligno, and Nick Foligno's going to Minnesota, and Nick Foligno's going to be able to play with his brother, and that's going to be awesome. And for everybody that's asked me about what about Nick Foligno, I answer question with a question. I say, all right, who are you going to scratch? Who are you scratching to get him in the lineup? You tell me. You scratching Lundstrom, Miles Wood. You're not sitting Olivier. Like, you tell me. And because Nick has had an incredible career. He is an awesome guy. You would want him in that room in a playoff series. You would. And you'd probably want his toughness for a game.
No doubt.
But at 38, he's not a top 6. He's probably not a top 9. So if you're telling me that this sounds great, I would say from a hockey sense, it wouldn't. And it's probably good because he's had a fantastic career. He'll retire in Columbus. It'll be awesome. Come on in studio. Let's talk some hockey. You bring him back as a 13th forward if he's willing. Okay. I'll sign off on that. Sign me up because he'd be great in the room, and a guy like Nick would know his role, especially on a team with momentum. And so this is okay. Everybody just kind of say this was meant to be for him to go play with his brother and Minnie, and I'll leave it at that is awesome.
Yeah, for
Happy
sure.
For him.
And there's always, I think, as fans, you want to have a little bit of that get the band back together type of energy going on. And when you see that name floated around and you look at where your team is and with the Jackets scratching and clawing, as we've been talking about a lot, to get into the postseason, having that familiar face back is always going to be a good feeling. But I think you laid out kind of where he is now as a player. And so you have to move on past that emotion. And that's, I'm sure, what the front office was working through because I'm sure they thought about it. But it's about how can somebody come into the building and help us right now, and looking at the lines and certain guys that he would have to leap to maybe go out there and take playing time away from them. How much sense would that really have made? And so, yeah, I'm here for the reunion. He'll absolutely get that. He's an all-time name here in Columbus. And when that moment is happening, it's going to be really, really cool to see.
We switched to football temporarily here. We'll do some over-unders this hour as well. We'll get back to hockey top of the hour with EJ Raddick. Ryan Day, I believe, feels that this season, and you guys tell me how you feel about this, that this team wasn't quite battle-tested enough at the right time. That this schedule outside of Texas and them going in, and obviously I know the Michigan thing is big, but don't you guys feel like that the layoff that led to a title was a much different team under a much different circumstance and also probably needed more time to flush disappointment and relight the fuse versus this team that beat Michigan on the road and then played for a Big Ten title and then had to wait how long between they had 24 days, something like that, 3.5 weeks between the Indiana game at the Big Ten and against Miami. And I'm looking at this schedule this year, and we've talked about how tough it is.
You've labeled it a gauntlet.
Yeah, I've definitely labeled it a gauntlet.
And we've talked to some people, too, like Brad Crawford.
It's a gauntlet. I was the original one to label it a gauntlet.
Brad Crawford from 24/7 Sports and CBS came on last week and said he thinks it's arguably the toughest schedule in the country. Joel Klatt has said the same thing on his podcast as well. So the schedule is for real this year. There's no doubt. Last year, it was out of the gate. You had that challenge, but they were able to maneuver their way through the rest of the regular season for the most part without much resistance. And that can always be, I think it actually is a good thing, especially when you're talking about last year's team that didn't have a whole bunch of experience the way the team the year before did.
Yes.
And so the year before, you could have that team lose the Michigan game, go through all that emotion, and be able to come out on the other side because those guys could look each other in the eye and look at themselves in the mirror and say, we've been here, done that. We played a lot of football. So now the guys that are coming back this year, they have that, that punch to the gut that they had to take from Miami and Indiana. And those guys are now expected to be able to handle tough moments. And that's why when you look at the schedule this year, the guys that will be leading the charge, especially a guy like Julian, I think he'll be more settled in big-time games like that.
You know what? There's so many new guys, too, to this team that, sometimes I believe in college basketball, and I think Izzo probably perfected this, is that you beef up the beginning of your schedules to exploit your weaknesses, and you find out exactly who you are early in the season, and you hope that a big, tough conference season can carry you into March Madness and you feel battle-tested. I feel last year, Ohio State certainly had the talent to win it all. Vegas made them the betting favorite going into the playoff. And so it's not really taking them off the hook for not doing that. I think they ran into a bad matchup at a bad time. I don't think they were ready for Miami. I don't. It was just the 3.5 weeks off against that team. That was really physical up front on both sides. I believe, this is hindsight, that Ohio State lost their edge after the Michigan game. They just I just think they did. Now, they went in and played Indiana. That should have reset them a little bit, losing 13-10. And I know this is probably plain results, but I look at this schedule this year, and as long as they don't do what some people say could happen, and that's, dare I say, lose 3 regular season games, because then that puts you squarely on the bubble, and in a lot of people's world would kick you out. But if they got through, if they lost 2 and get in, don't you believe that this year that would go a long way for them, as opposed to what happened last year, which is I just feel like they lost their edge. And when they went up against really, really good defenses at the end, they weren't ready for it somehow.
For me, I don't know if it was as much as them losing any type of mental edge versus just what happened down in the trenches is always going to throw a team off the tracks, right? And I wasn't really concerned about a layoff as much as coming out of the Indiana game. Well, what happened, in the red zone in the Big Ten championship game, but up front as well, they were not able to hold up where they needed to, and that was a major concern because we turned the page and we talked for those days and weeks going into the Miami game about Reuben Bain and Messidor and what they could potentially do. And then you had the pick 6 and all that stuff that happened within that game, and they were just out of whack because of that. So I think that's why this year it's so important, especially where you're going on the road to Texas and to Iowa and to Indiana and to USC and those type of environments. Let's see if the offensive line is going to be able to control the game just a little bit, because you don't want to go on the road and not be able to slow opposing defenses down, obviously. But I think the best way to do that is to have that offensive line in order, because if it is in order, we know your quarterback can cook at a high level.
Let's continue with that in 2 minutes. You'll hear from Ryan Day on his quarterback and the leap he wants him to take from this past season to this one. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Hey, Aaron, what are those? Those are what are known as toilets, Jerry. I know they're toilets, but why are they sitting back to back like bookends? Congratulations, Jerry. You said the magic word. Bookends? Bookends is the magic word? Take a seat, Jerry. I choose this one. A good choice. That is the world's most luxurious toilet. Really? How much is it? $6,500, including installation. What? For $6,500, this thing would have to iron my shirts, shine my shoes, and sing happy birthday to me. It does way more than that, Jerry. I'm switching to the other one. How much is this one? $650, including installation. Wow, that's a great deal. What does it do? It does exactly what you would expect, Jerry. Huh. From $650 to $6,500. Eco has a toilet for everyone. Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Steve here from USA Insulation. Let me ask you a question. Do you know why your thermos keeps your coffee hot? Because it's insulated with foam. So let us do the same thing and insulate your home with our premium foam for only $99 a month, interest-free. The cold weather's here. There's nothing better than sitting in a warm, comfortable home with your loved ones and keeping that cold, drafty air outside. So make the call today, 529-2440, 529-2440, or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation. Hey, Columbus, big news. For a limited time, get Uber One free for a full year so you can save on food and rides. That's a $96 value on us. Just use code Columbus. Get 1 year of $0 delivery fees, 10% off eligible food and grocery orders, and up to 6% Uber One credits on rides. Sign up for this limited time offer today using code Columbus and save big with Uber One. Offer valid through 3/31/26. Savings and $0 delivery fee on eligible orders and rides only. Fees and terms apply. See app for details.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty promises he'll continue to do the show even if he wins the lottery. If only we believed him. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, so Ohio State will begin the season Saturday, September 5th. And what Matty's labeled a ramp-up game for Texas. The Ball State Cardinal will be coming in.
I mean, technically it is. You know, it's meant like if Texas was out of the gate, it's a real game.
Ramp-up game. That's right. Yeah. There's a big difference between being a ramp-up game and being a cupcake.
Correct.
They're a ramp-up.
What do you think they'll be favored by in that game? Ohio State. 28.
That seems low. I don't know. That I don't know. I have not done my
your scouting
early
report
primer on the
Cardinal?
Ball State Cardinal. Oh, man, I used to play this clip all the time, and I can't find it now. I'm not as good as TLC in managing my array, but I look at Texas, at Iowa, at Indiana, at USC, home against Oregon. As I've labeled, maybe a tricky trap game at Nebraska before Michigan.
Environment, it'll be rocking.
Michigan will be
there.
here. It's just because it's before Michigan.
No doubt.
By the way, every year I've always done that. What's the game before Michigan? And is it one where you can be a little bit of distracted and still win? That may not qualify.
And Michigan's coming in here with a new identity. We know Kyle Whittingham, his squads, how they're built. I mean, that's going to be kind of similar to what Harbaugh had going on, built from the trenches inside out. And we're all curious to see the leap for Julian Sane in year 2. A lot of football fans are going to be, myself included, to see what we get from Bryce Underwood, because that guy is supposed to be a star, and maybe he will be, right? He just wasn't a consistent player, as a lot of freshmen aren't right out of the gate. But yeah, for sure, that game coming in here, as always, will have a lot of eyeballs on it. But that trip up to Lincoln, their fans always show up and show out, have no clue what type of product they're rolling out there on the field, especially now with what's happened to them at quarterback. But yeah, this schedule, man, it's exciting to look at this schedule and know that not all these games are just going to be walks in the park. You're going to find out a lot about your team this year as a Buckeye fan fairly early in the season with that trip to Texas, and then that trip to Kinnick for sure. You know, things can get a little weird over there with how they like to play the game.
Imagine having this schedule 25 years ago and needing to win them all, you know, or lose one and get some help. Like, that's not this. But I think this comes down to, and this is maybe why I've grown to like this era, even though I understand it's diluted the regular season to some degree. And that's why you and I are really, really anti-expansion at this point. Like 12 was enough for me. Like, and I know that's not stopping here.
No,
and if 16 makes it a friendlier bracket or whatever, I don't care. Like, it's weird to me that it would get that big in college football, because I think what they've done is they've managed to get past expansion without it really hurting college football. And I'm not here to tell you that if it goes to 16 or higher that it's going to really damage it. I don't know that. I thought maybe it would damage at this point, and it hasn't. There's the same amount of interest, there's the same amount of narrative and talk and maybe excitement as there ever has been. So my point is they've won this part of the battle. Look, you guys all said it would dilute the regular season, and it hasn't. Things are still great. The games mean just as much. Everybody loves them. But I'll tell you what it's damaged. It's damaged the conference championship games, even though the one in Ohio State and Indiana was a big game, but it didn't have massive consequences. It did for the record books. It did for Indiana, who hadn't won one since 1967, like it did for them, and it would have for Ohio State. You're playing the game, you want to win it, but it didn't affect your ability to be the last team standing. And neither does the Michigan game anymore, really, if we all want to be honest, unless you lose 2 before it. And that's my point about this season, is that this schedule provides a chance for the Michigan game to mean just as much as it always has.
The other thing, too, that I think has been damaged, though, is some of these first-round matchups in this playoff have not been good. The first 2 years have not been good.
They tweaked it a little bit here lately.
But some of the teams that we've seen get into this thing have gotten curb stomped in the first round. And that's my fear, is that we're going to get more of those out of the gate. And so you're welcoming teams in already that, to me, really aren't as deserving, and maybe deserving is the wrong word. When it just comes down to the Jimmies and the Joes with some of these programs, they're just not going to have the dudes to match up. And we're already seeing that in the first round with the SMUs of the world and some of these teams that we've seen play in the early rounds of this playoff, and the game's just been an absolute dud. And so that's my fear along with you when it comes to the regular season, that this thing gets to 16, 18, 20, or 24, the regular season is going to mean almost nothing. And I think that's sad for the sport, because we're going to waste time arguing about teams that are not going to be worthy of playing for a natty. And you know that's been my stance since we started with 4 and expanding to 12. It's not as bad right now, but 18 to 20 to 24 to me is just going to be ridiculous.
So I'm with you. I don't like it. I don't like the sounds of it. But we got away with the first year, even though they were duds game-wise. Ohio State winds up pulling off the great run and winning it. Remember, before, it was the 4 highest-ranked conference champions received a first-round bye, regardless of their ranking. It was a bad deal. They corrected it right away. Course correct that. And so now we're kind of evolving on the fly. I think the first year was always going to be a crapshoot.
Here's my problem, though. Ole Miss, 41-10 against Tulane. Oregon cracks James Madison 51-34.
Would have been better with Texas and Notre Dame.
I hear you on that. You go back to the year before that, Ohio State cracks Tennessee 42-17. SMU loses 38-10 in year one.
But that was those 4 highest-ranked conference champs.
I know, but that really didn't change in year 2 is my point. That didn't change in year 2. And so that's why I just think expanding this thing is I'll never get it. Well, actually, I know what they're doing. They're not going to admit why they're doing it. But I'm just all about let's get the best product out there on the field for us to watch as a fan when you're telling us it's the most important
Why would they care about you?
of the year.
You're already paying.
But my thing is, like, what are we doing? This is a waste of time.
They only would change if they lose customers, and they're never going to lose
completely understand
customers.
that, but it's not a good thing either. I don't care about their pockets
of course.
and the money that they're making. I want to be entertained and watch good football.
You and I, for years, have been in lockstep on one thing and one thing only. Tell me where the game is. I'll find the channel, and I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where network, this, that, what expansion, this commissioner saying this, this conference adding teams. You and I were like, tell me where the game is.
And we're there.
I'm smart, just smart enough to be able to manage and operate a remote control still, even though I've got 3 of them now, and a laptop, and a phone. We've somehow been able to multitask our way through
And you can listen to a game now on your iPod because you got a radio on there.
By the way, haven't made the trip to Apple yet to see if that thing is salvageable. This weekend.
Yeah, get on up there. Go to the one at Easton. I think it's right next to Cooper's Hawk up there, the Apple store, right there on the corner,
Maddie.
I believe.
Look at Maddie, a little gong on the Cooper's Hawk.
How's that a gong?
Oh,
It's a restaurant.
It's right next to a Cooper's Hawk where I take all
I don't think that's
my dates.
I don't think
for
that's
the big high end one. Give me the top
haven't.
shelf wine.
That's his
the
stabbing
bottles of
cabin. Cooper's Hawk.
I haven't.
Oh,
that sounds aggressive.
Goodness. That was
that sounds aggressive.
There's a song that has that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the song's fault.
I mean, the song is very.
Listen,
about
Cooper's Hawk
that,
is pretty
so you
good.
know.
I didn't even know they were still open. It's good to
solid,
go,
man. Yeah,
right.
it's good stuff. I haven't been on a date in months, though, AR. It's been a minute.
Just kind of slip
I'm
that
just
in
chilling
publicly,
right now.
huh?
Well, you
want to slip that out
you
there.
You called me out. You said that's where I go.
No, I didn't call you out. I
just
called
saying,
you in.
I haven't been on a date in months. I'm good right now, though. You know what I mean?
Okay. I didn't know whether this was trade deadline day, and I didn't know whether you were dangling something out there.
No.
Because you put it out there, and I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. We're past Valentine's Day.
In the 11th hour of trade
I was
deadline.
going to say, on trade deadline day, he just said, I've got nothing to offer.
He's looking for a match out there.
I'm willing to take someone else's bad contract.
Here's what I'll say, though, fellas. If you are looking for a place to take someone on a date, Cooper's Hawk is a nice spot.
And then spin over to the Apple store.
Yeah, and get you an iPad, whatever you need. And AR will be there getting his iPod fixed.
My iPod from 2007 that's still alive.
The Shuffle or the Nano?
It's it's not a Nano. We figured that out. It was not a Nano.
It was the...
I just think it was a 7th generation or whatever they called it. Whatever the iPod was in 2007 that had the video camera and the FM radio.
Yeah.
That's the one I have.
Okay. I guarantee
Just the
they
battery.
can get it to
I
work.
can't charge the battery. The battery won't hold a charge.
They're going to get that thing working for you.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think they're making parts for that anymore. I don't think they're making even bad. I don't even know. I think they're going to look at me like people always look at me, like I got 2 heads. Like they're going to look at me and go, this guy is not my kind of guy.
Oh, people are looking at you when you wear your Bluetooth in public now? Has that made it out of the house yet?
I got earbud shamed at the gym. I'm going to actually bring my Bluetooth in next time.
How did you get earbud shamed at the gym? Because you didn't have them?
I didn't have them.
Okay, I understand.
yeah.
I was about to say.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Well, I got something for you. Your Bluetooth, old school, just hanging off the ear. Can we hear from Ryan Day quickly on Julian Sain, please?
Sure. I will spin that right now.
I've said this before. There's not too many guys his age that, in 1 year of playing have made it to New York City. And so for me, when you look at that position, a lot of the guys have been older guys that either transferred from a school where they were at or had played multiple years. And so for his first year as a starter, he did a lot of great things. this is exciting for us. I think this is only just a few times in my career that I've had a quarterback come back to play for 2 years in a row. So he'll have that experience to draw back on, which is great. A year older in the system. He's already had a great start to the offseason. So I know he's excited to get back on the field and have a veteran feel now. So everything he's done now is, he's lived through it all. And once you get through the season, you come back and you got to learn from it and you got to grow from it. And the best quarterbacks are the ones that do that. They get better year after year. And as we've all seen, experience in college football matters.
It's a comfort now. He's got no quarterback competition. He's just looking to elevate his guy that was a Heisman finalist, the starter. And this is a beautiful thing for him. This is the 77%. That's the third highest single-season completion percentage ever for an FBS quarterback. And he's still got Jeremiah, and he's got Chris Henry coming in, and he's got the other guys. So we should see, he's so good early. No one's anticipating a sophomore slump.
No, the game's going to slow down for him. He's already got the chemistry with Jeremiah. It's going to be important for him and Brandon Ennis as well, but it's going to be important for him to get on the same page with the new weapons as well, because those guys are going to be, I think, asked to have a decent amount on their plate that they're going to have to eat. And Chris Henry, I think, maybe will be at the tops of that list, but there's some other guys that have been waiting their time. And so just getting everybody on the same page is important, but his knowledge of this offense right now is going to be big time. But also on the other side of that, too, is the chemistry with Arthur Smith. Those guys are going to have to get locked in with the play calling and all that. But as far as his skill set, we know what time it is. The dude is going to be one of the best in the country.
What time is it?
Game time.
Well done, Mike. All right, we're going to come back with overs and unders next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I have some basic expectations at my house, one of which is that when I come in from outside, it feels more comfortable in my house and not feel like the temperature outside. I don't think that's too much to ask. However, if you have old, drafty windows that are letting in some of the air from outside, your house isn't as energy efficient. Your house won't stay the temperature that you're setting it at. You can help address that by getting some new windows from Window Nation. Window Nation has high-quality, energy-efficient products, and with one simple consultation, their experts will visit your home, find your problem areas, and make recommendations. Plus, once you find the windows you want, they can be installed within 1 day. With Window Nation, your house won't just look great, but you'll also have peace of mind because all Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. Plus, in March, the more you buy, the more you save. Up to 50% off all window styles. And be sure to ask about Window Nation's generous financing options, including $0 down and payments as little as $199 a month. Schedule your free consultation today. Go to windownation.com.
I started my first business when I was 12, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and customers care that you show up and do what you say you're going to do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. When you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. Call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai in Columbus or Dublin. Make a basket for extra savings on top of big shot deals on every model from Elantra to Palisade. Go now, Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola or 6-packs of Pepsi or Pure Leaf Tea. Select varieties or buy 3, get 3 free with your card. Limit 12. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped, I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live, for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at the Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on the Fan's YouTube channel and 10 TV Plus.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bobby, it's bridal sale time.
Our annual spring bridal sale is March 10th through the 21st. Buy one and get one 50% off on all bridal jewelry.
And don't miss the weekend trunk shows featuring the latest styles from the top designers. And Bobby, if custom is the choice, you're the man for that.
Absolutely. Let us make the ring of your dreams.
Check out our custom ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, TLC, what you got cooking over there?
All right, believe it or not, Jason Tatum is playing basketball tonight.
Ooh, where?
Either at home against Dallas or in Dallas, one of the two. And his point total, 14.5. And if you want, his first quarter point total is over under 3.5.
Interesting.
Ooh, I feel like you said 14.5?
Yes.
I'm going to take the under. First game. I'm maybe would be tempted into doing a 3-point prop, like threes.
Oh,
like maybe
okay, threes may
hit a couple threes. And I'm not trying to deflect off your question. I am going to take the under on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to take the over if his threes are. Well, if it's a half, I'm definitely taking the over. If it's more than that, we'll see.
In Boston, to whom it may concern, they're giving him a home game.
All right. Because Maddie, I'm thinking that you either take the first quarter over just to see if he, or am I thinking about this the wrong way, where he'd ease into it?
I'm worried about his minutes.
Looking like 2.5 3-pointers.
That's what I'm worried about. 2.5.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was 1.5.
He's not going to play. At least I don't think 30 plus minutes in this game tonight.
No way.
Back to your original projection. I'm going to take the under on the points,
but I'm going to go with the over on the points because he can heat up in a hurry. And so
maybe take the threes as well.
Yeah, I kind of like the over with this right now. And this is a big deal. So I'll get into Tatum a little bit later. I'm glad you brought him up now, though.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll go over for JT.
Stick around for the 118 segment. When will Aaron Rodgers decide on his 2026 NFL plans over under May 14th?
All right, so you're going post-draft, so that's a smart line to set because he's got to wait and see what these teams do.
Oh, I'm going over. He's waiting to see the entire picture of what the Steelers are going to do. So I'm going to go over.
And everybody.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a splashy wide receiver move or playmaker move that they're going to make in the next couple of weeks that'll absolutely stamp it. Like maybe if they somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat and it's Mike Evans or somebody like that, which I don't think is going to happen, then he'd be all in. But I'm going to go over here because he wants to see. And they have a lot of picks, too. So maybe they can make a trade at the draft and get up higher to do something crazy. But, yeah, I'll go over. He'll take his time.
So let me give you the most important reason I believe the over hits in this. Forgetting about what I originally said, maybe not forgetting about it, but add to it about he's got to see the draft unfold and see what teams do, whether they actually commit or not. Here's the most important thing. He does not want to have to do anything.
No OTAs, no mini camp.
I don't want to feel like I'm going to be, rolled over on ESPN for not showing up and my new team or my old team and I'm not forming chemistry with He doesn't care. He's past it.
And I think it's a good point, and he likes his name in the news. He's one of those guys, or Sports Center and First Take, and what's Aaron Rodgers doing? I thought you had the date of a darkness retreat or something that was going to delay this.
I think what's going to delay it, he doesn't want to have to commit after the commitment. So he wants to move that along,
Makes sense.
Push it down the road as long as I can. So I'll jump in training camp, and that's when I'm supposed to show up, and that's when I will kind of thing.
What we got next? Let's see. How many games will Geno Smith start in the NFL next year? Over under 4.5.
He got released today.
He did get released today.
Yeah, he got released today. First team all ski mask, stealing money from the Raiders after 1 year. It's crazy. I think he made like $60 million or something like that. I'm going to go under AR because I don't think he goes to Minnesota. Well, that would be the one place, but I don't think they want. I don't think you guys want Geno.
But you're not bringing him in for the starter. You're bringing him to compete. Like, even if I brought him in, I don't know if he's starting. Not him. That's the difference between he and like an Aaron Rodgers type, or even a Kyler Murray to some degree. I don't know for a fact if the Vikes brought him in, he'd automatically be the starter, or even better, demand that he's the starter.
I think he would be the starter in Kevin O'Connell's mind until JJ took it away from him. With the vibes that I'm feeling around JJ. Right. I'm going under, though. I don't think he's going to be starting a whole bunch of games.
He's 35. He's coming off a horrible season. Like, I just don't think he has a lot of leverage. The leverage he has is there are some needy teams. So let me run some of these by you and see, would he be automatically inherit the starter without doing anything?
The Jets.
That's what I was going to say. Jets.
He would be.
Is he the automatic starter in Pittsburgh?
If without Rodgers in the equation?
Without him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
probably.
Yeah, he would be.
Is the automatic starter in Atlanta?
Yeah, because Penix is hurt.
Penix might not be ready for the season. He might not be ready to start. Is he the automatic starter in Arizona? Probably.
Yeah, he walks into that building.
Is Brissett
that's a good point.
He's probably not. Is he the automatic starter in Miami?
Yes. They move on from Tua?
Oh, no. This is going on. I don't know.
If Tua's there, then it's not automatic. It's not an automatic.
I'm going on the hypothetical that Tua would be there based on this contract and the fact that you need a veteran backup and you need somebody that can, because Quinn Ewers is not, he didn't show much. So I would think that of that little exercise we just did, maybe half the teams that need a quarterback.
Probably smart to go with the over.
So
then.
I'm going to probably go, unless he's a guy that's just going to go.
Well, the draft will happen.
Yes, the draft is going to happen. But he's a veteran quarterback who will compete for starting job, have a leg up on a middling rookie, and
I'll tell you this, man, the Jets make a lot of sense.
I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, the Jets make a lot of sense. He's been there already. I know it's a whole new regime and all that stuff, but
add injuries to the equation too.
I could see
he might just have to start.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has his eyes on the Jets because that's probably the one for sure where he can look at that and say, "Yeah, I could be the guy week one."
But the Jets might be a destination because, like, they can write their own ticket and say, whoever we sign, you have the starting job. Like, there is no competition.
That's what I'm saying. I think in his mind that would make a lot of sense.
But I'm saying Geno would have to be their first choice, and I don't think he would be.
Well, they're not going to get a quarterback in the draft.
They couldn't get Dante Moore.
You know who they're rumored to be thinking about today? My guy, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him than Geno.
No way.
Oh, you better do a physical first.
No way.
Did you see what we did to him?
Injured?
We buried him under the field. Like he gave every last bit.
I know.
His body
and
to
I
the
loved
Vikings.
It was one bad year for Geno last year. I'm not going to overreact too much. The year before he had some good years in Seattle, and he's only 35. So I would rather have Geno Smith than Carson Wentz for sure.
You hand him Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, there's a little bit of an offense there. And man, hot take, Carson Wentz stays healthy, I win the fantasy title this year. Because I traded
Jefferson.
I traded for JJ thinking that was going to happen and it never did. All right, we come back. EJ Raddick, NHL Network. He'll grade the trade and tell us what he's hearing about what the Jackets could do over the next 2 hours. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If your kids mess up at school, blame it on me. Car break down going to work, blame it on me.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coughlin Ford. During Ford Truck Month, take over $13,000 off MSRP, plus no payments until June on select new F-150s. New Bronco Sport or Ranger. Lease for $399 a month for 40 48 months. Visit CoglinFord.com.
Coglin has the car for you.
Factory rebates to dealer. 90-day deferred payments. Not all buyers will qualify. Bronco $399 down. Ranger $2,000 down. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease. No security deposit. Ends 3/31/26.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment
on any Ford tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more.
See store for details.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.82% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Did winter leave you with a roof leak just as spring approaches? Don't stress. The team at Newman Roofing has you covered. Voted Columbus's best roofing company 4 years in a row. Schedule your estimate by calling 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Winning isn't everything, but at Tim Hortons, every day's a chance to win when you play Roll Up to Win. Maybe it's a free coffee or donut or a year's supply of fuel from Shell. That goes a long way. Maybe it's a Kobo e-reader or up to $1,000 in Uber Eats gift cards or even a VIP getaway to see Cirque du Soleil. Okay, not something you win every day. Roll Up to Win, only at Tim Hortons. No purchase necessary, 18 plus, ends March 22nd, 2026. Tim Hortons app required for digital game. Use the app to reveal digital rules. Game cups while supplies last. Offer a chance to win food and beverage prizes only. See official rules at rolluptowin.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Joseph Senta and Dr. Barry Zeta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris, and now at their second location in Reynoldsburg, are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. They can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The NHL trade deadline today at 3 p.m. Former Blue Jackets captain Nick Foligno will not be coming back to Columbus. He's heading to Minnesota to play with his brother Marcus. The CBJ did make a move late last night, acquiring forward Connor Garland from the Vancouver Canucks. The CBJ back on home ice tomorrow night, hosting the Utah Mammoth at 7. The Ohio State women's basketball team continues Big Ten tournament play this afternoon in Indy. They take on Minnesota around 2:30. Tyler Danberg and Kristen Watt have the call over on the Fan 2 beginning at 2:10. The Ohio State men's basketball team wraps up their regular season tomorrow night when they host Indiana at 5:30. The Fan warm-up show begins tomorrow at 4:30. Cactus League action this afternoon at 3:05. The Cleveland Guardians hosting the Los Angeles Angels. The Cincinnati Reds facing the San Francisco Giants. This one brought to you by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free repairs when you buy a new water heater at geteco.com.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. EJ Raddick, the analyst and senior reporter for the NHL Network, ready to jump on with us now on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Old friend of the program is back on a very big day with under 2 hours left in the deadline. Jackets have already made what I would call a fairly big ripple effect. This is nice. And what I mean by that is just I think this is more than just a splash in the shallow end. I think that Connor Garland is somebody the Jacket fans are really going to like. And they're going to like his energy and his being around the puck all the time. And I think you're going to be very impressed with a guy who's probably 5'10" on skates and what he can mean to a hockey team at this level. EJ is with us now, and we welcome him back to the program, my man. Busy day. We appreciate this.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. It is a busy day. It's kind of a crazy day, a fun day for fans, a tough day for managers and players in some ways, and but I only got a couple hours left, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, Don Waddell made a move late last night in getting Connor Garland for a pair of draft picks. I think it's a win for us. I do like him. I think this is a guy that, while his production may be lower this year, he's on a stinky team, and I think he's got a pretty high floor, and he's a really good room guy, and he's got just bounds of energy. What did you think of it?
I think it's a really good move for a team that's played well since the coaching change, that's in the mix, that's I think has a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, the one thing I got reminded of, again, over the last couple of days is teams are in this situation trying to chase to get in because they're inconsistent. And, just when you thought the Penguins and the Islanders were playing well over the weekend and maybe pull away, they both go in losing streaks. So here's Columbus moving right up again, and Boston, has had some struggles. So Columbus is right back in it. They've won some games over the last week. Why not? If you can add somebody like that who brings, as you point out, a ton of energy. He is a terrific young guy. He's had to work for everything he's got in this league. He's going to play his heart out for you. He's a guy that has some offensive skill that can score some goals and is probably going to be excited to come into a new situation where there's a lot less drama and a lot more happiness right now. I mean, Rick Bowness has come in. Seems like the team is feeling good, and when you're winning, that just builds. And so we'll see where it goes from there. And the good news is he signed for several years moving forward. So, I mean, I know in places, like Columbus, sometimes it's hard to get guys to come there or to stay there. This guy is coming there, and he's signed for several years to come. So that's, I think, a great thing for the franchise. So we'll see how it goes over these final 21 games, but they're right there.
EJ, as far as the rest of today and the deadline approaching, what do you think the Jackets should be done? And if you don't, what are your thoughts on a move or two that they could possibly make? Should Don Waddell continue to make moves if he can today?
Well, I think that, I think you always want to be smart with your team. I mean, because I think the push for Columbus is to get in the playoffs, right? And once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. I don't think people are going to give you great odds on the Columbus Blue Jackets winning the Stanley Cup. But that said, you want to get in. So that's the goal. So you want to balance it. If you can add a depth forward, a depth defenseman to your group without having to expend something significant, go ahead and do it. Take a shot. The Jackets have had a lot of picks and prospects over the last couple of years. So, I mean, those are the areas you try to get better in. I think he took his more significant swing getting Garland, a guy that's going to be there, should be there for the next several years. So anywhere you can help. They always, they tell you, I scouted for Dallas years ago, And they always, that was always the thing. You never have enough defensemen for the playoffs. Guys get hurt. So depth pieces, if you could add them, that you think they're good guys for your room that fit into your group. And Rick Bowness has been around. He knows most of these players. He's had them in different places. I mean, those kind of guys that can help your room and help and fit in with your group. If you can add them at a minimal cost, I say try to do it.
He's got picks. I mean, he's got some things to do, but you're right. He's probably in no rush to do something real rash. The one thing, and we're with EJ Radick, the great analyst, senior reporter for the NHL Network, and make sure you tune into them because they're going to give you all the breaking trade news analysis, all the live interviews on NHL trade deadline day starting in about 53 minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern on the network. So we've been kind of going back and forth, EJ, with Kent Johnson. And Kent is still a very young player, goal scorer. That's his main weapon. And he's kind of been in and out of the lineup lately. And I said to Maddie earlier today that, the big swing would be to kind of give up a first and KJ to try to swing for a big fish here. I don't think he's in any rush to it. He probably won't. He said last night on the broadcast during the game that you got to stick with a guy like KJ. That may have just been talk until you don't have to stick with him, maybe when a great offer comes around. But
right.
if they don't see a jump from Kent Johnson in the next 20 games or whatever, he could be a trade package this summer. Have you heard anything about just Kent Johnson and where he could fit in here or somewhere else? Does his name get tossed around?
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys. He was a high draft pick. He's had some success in the league at times. This has definitely been a tough year. I mean, like, when you're looking at players, if you're someone that when Kent was in his draft year, if your amateur guys really like Kent Johnson, right, at different teams, if you really like him and you have a belief in him, this is the time that you try to go get him because nobody trades good players when they're playing well. They trade them when, like, it's a struggle or, like, you're buying low. So, yeah, there might be teams out there that really like him and maybe have a bigger group that could support, like, a smaller skilled guy within their team. So there could be teams out there. But the bottom line is, like for Columbus, they spent a pretty significant draft capital to acquire him in the first place. They're not looking to give him away. So that's the yin and the yang. Maybe he's a piece, like you said it, with a pick. Maybe that's enough to land like a bigger fish that can help you move forward. But for me, it's always something to continue to keep in mind for the Jackets is like, and this is why I like Connor Garland. He signed for several years moving forward. You have to make sure you're going to be able to keep these guys if you're trading away significant assets like someone that you drafted that high in the draft like Johnson and then another, first-round draft pick. So that's the thing for me is you're not doing it for rentals. You're doing it for guys that are either signed for a long term or that you can sign moving forward.
EJ, I want to ask you about what you thought of Rick Bowness's approach to the goaltending situation here in Columbus with Jet Greaves and him really coming on strong last year at the latter portion of the season, putting up some really good numbers and results. And now we've turned the page and there's been more Elvis sightings and Jet's obviously still getting some time as well. But looking at those two guys and how important they're going to be moving forward, your thoughts on that?
Well, I think in these days you need them both. And I think that, Rick has had all that experience in different situations around the league. Teams when he's been a coach where they've had really a steady number one. He's had other teams where they've probably balanced two or three guys. I think it's pretty clear right now that like Jet has come on. Last year he played well. I think really if Dean Evison had played Jet Greaves more down the stretch, they might have made the playoffs. And so sometimes those situations arise when a young guy comes in. I look at it this way. If the other guy's not getting the job done, and that was the case last year with Elvis, maybe just ride Jet Greaves. I mean, you saw that in St. Louis several years ago when Jordan Binnington arrived on the scene. They rode him, and they rode him all the way to the Stanley Cup. This year, it's been a little back and forth. I've watched Jet. I think there's some really good positives in his game. I look at him. I think he covers the bottom of the net really well. I think he's not the biggest guy, so he gets exposed up high once in a while, but he's played well. You need Elvis to play well, too, and kind of keep both guys in the mix. I think that's the way they get it done there in Columbus, because I don't think, it just seems like they're going to need both of those guys, and you need to keep them both playing well if you can.
Remember, we had a three-ring circus last year a little bit. We had Tarasov still last year.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And these goalies, too, like, there's very few guys, really, especially in this era, that are the number one guy that plays 60, 65 games. You have the Hellebucks, you have, the Ottingers, you go around the league, the Shesterkins, there's some of them. But most teams now are juggling 2, sometimes 3 goaltenders, depending on injuries. So, if you just get steady, consistent goaltending, and a lot of times that's going to be good enough in a league where everybody's pretty close. Like there's not a lot of difference. Yeah, there's some teams at the very top and there's some teams at the very bottom. But I would say there's 20 teams or maybe 22, 23 that are not separated by a lot.
Listen, you know this better than anybody. The Colorado Avalanche have 41 wins, 91 points. They have 2 goalies. And
That's right.
They play them. And
that's right. And Wedgwood had to play a lot at the start of the year because Mackenzie Blackwood was injured. And, that's the thing. Nowadays, these guys, the way they play, the pressure they put on their bodies, these guys get dinged up. They get hurt. Their playing time needs to be managed. Listen, it would be a great thing in Columbus if both Jet and Elvis are playing well, because that's what they're really going to need. I think it would be hard-pressed to ride one or the other and expect to have long-term success, especially with this schedule. I mean, they play 17 games in the month of March. I mean, there's nobody's ever played more games in a month in the NHL than 17. I think Pittsburgh and Columbus are 2 of a couple because of the compressed schedule, so they're going to need more. They're going to need everybody. I always say that. Like, you need everybody pulling the rope in the right direction. That's why it's having a good room and having people believe, and having someone like Rick Bowness that comes in who keeps sunshine. Like Rick brings sunshine. That's like Bruce Boudreau, who's my colleague here at the NHL Network. He brings some sunshine to the table for teams. And this is a job like any other. And yeah, sometimes you need somebody to crack the whip a little bit. But a lot of days you just need somebody to remind everybody in the room, hey, we're fortunate to be here. This is a great thing. This is, we're great. It's great for us to be players. It's great for us to have a chance to be together and try to win. Sometimes these guys need to have that as well, and I think Rick has brought that, and you see the results. The team has been winning.
Well done, my man. Thanks for jumping on. We'll be watching you this afternoon. Thanks, EJ.
All right, you got it, guys.
Yep, talk soon. EJ Radick, analyst, senior reporter for the NHL Network. Watch them this afternoon. Their NHL trade deadline day starts at 2 o'clock on the network. We'll come back with the pressure cooker, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Dr. Mark Levy can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring. Sleep better. Live better.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $160 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $160 more.
See store for details.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer.
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Listen up. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Dr. Mark Levy's been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results. And now he has an office in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Springtime is here, and you know what that means? It's time for mulch madness. Did you know that too much mulch is bad for trees and shrubs? 2 inches of mulch is plenty. Any more and you risk causing roots to grow up and around trunks, which increases unhealthy stress, shortens tree life, and even keeps moisture from getting down to tree roots. To find out more about mulch madness or to find a certified arborist near you, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies and highs soaring into the mid-70s. We do have an isolated chance of showers and thunderstorms, though, in the afternoon. Otherwise, we remain mainly dry as we go into tonight. Partly cloudy skies, breezy winds, and lows in the 60s. For Saturday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with breezy winds, some which could be on the stronger side. Otherwise, we'll have partly cloudy skies and highs in the mid to low 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by 3D Cabinetry. 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability.
All right, Ice. I mean, the easy ones are probably to go right to March Madness and the bubble and all that, which I will do. Because, you know, I'll take the low-hanging fruit here on a Friday. You know, so we used to call it a mail-it-in Friday.
Used to.
Oh, sorry. Still going. That's right. We've just faked it a lot better. And I was going to put pressure on, not on Don Waddell, but on some other teams in the NHL, like the Wild, who gave Kaprizov $17 million a year. But they've made a move today, and they got Quinn Hughes in December. So I'll bring it back to basketball. And I've done this probably, I'm doing it to help them. I feel I owe it to them, Maddie. The Miami Redhawks are 30-0. One more for an undefeated regular season. Talked about them 7-8 games ago, about trying to go 31-0. And they've carried the pressure of not only trying to go undefeated, and everybody's trying to wreck their no-hitter, and there's still another layer of pressure that it may not be enough. And so they're dealing with that narrative. So they've had to block out all this noise and then try to focus. They've won some buzzer-beater games, and I hope it's put another layer of skin on them. I think it has. They're at OU tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. They just beat the Bobcats by 16 6 games ago. But, you know, that was then, this is now. Now they know. This is the finish line of the regular season to go undefeated. And they'd be only, the 15th, I think, D1 team in history to get to 30. Well, they are actually the 15th to get to 30-0. And while I've asked everybody, would that make them a near lock? There are some analysts that argue that due to their lower ranked schedule, which was 89 in KenPom, a late season loss could put an at-large bid in doubt. That's all I'm saying. I don't think they'll lose this. They're too close now. We're too close to turn back now. And so rooting for them to get it done. And the stakes are there. The pressure's intensified. They need to justify, they need to go undefeated, and then they need to justify that standing against these high major teams. I'm going on what the voters say. The voters say this is a top 20 basketball team in America. You know what I want to see? Win or lose? Prove it. Get in and prove it. And I want to get to the prove it point. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So at OU tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, the Red Hawks are going to carry this immense pressure into their final regular season game.
There's no doubt. First candidate for me, starting in the NFL. And I'm talking about Denniston Oliver Moore Jr., a.k.a. DJ Moore. DJ Moore now, AR, I think, is in a situation where there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I think it's tough to be a guy or a group of guys that are coming into a new locker room, and your teammates, and probably more importantly, the fan base is looking at you as the piece that's going to put us over the top. The Bills, as we know, have been in an inner circle of contenders the last few years. They just have not been able to punch that ticket and be the last team standing. The Bills yesterday gave up a second-round pick for DJ Moore, so some pretty significant draft capital. For whatever reason last year in Chicago, it just didn't work. But the year before, it worked with Justin Fields. He and Justin Fields had some good chemistry, almost had 1,000 yards, caught 90 footballs. But last year, 50 catches?
He was so hit and miss.
Catches,
At times you thought he was the guy.
Yeah, he played in all 17 games last year and only had 50 catches for 682 yards. He's shown the ability to be really productive with some questionable quarterback play. Like, you think about the guys he's been rocking with in his career, nowhere near what he's going to get in Buffalo. A few years ago, he had over 1,300 yards. His first year in Chicago, over 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. And so now he's coming into a wide receiver room to where swung and miss on Keon Coleman, it looks like. Khalil Shakir's fine. Not a real one, I think, in the NFL. So he's going to have a lot of spotlight on him because the Bills fan base knows what they're getting from Cook. It knows what they're getting from Josh Allen. Now they're waiting for that guy to come in and be a true difference maker on the outside. So I'm going DJ Moore. I'm putting him on the pressure list first this week.
I like that one, and I think that he's got a guy that can run around and make sure he gets the football and buy time and all that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He should love that. I'll tell you what, since we talked about him earlier, I'm going to put pressure on him, and only in this way, that I think he's going to feel some pressure to trust it. And I think that's real with an athlete, especially at this level. So I think Jason Tatum's going to feel some pressure to trust it. And here's why. Not because his over-under was the TLC.
and a half.
Not that he has to hit your over. That's not the pressure. But he's coming off this major injury. We believe his minutes will be limited. But he has not gone under 12 and a half in over 100 games. Yeah. And I don't want him to get caught up in, I've got to show everything in game one coming back. But I really think the pressure is this. He ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah.
And now it's better. He's been practicing. But there's nothing like breaking through the psychological barrier of a real game.
No question.
And here's where things get weird. When you're practicing, your brain tells you what to do all the time, and then you react. When you get in a game, you're going to have whiplash moments where you're going to have to go on instinct, where you won't have time to think, where you're going on muscle memory. And that's the hardest thing to trust, is to let it go. And I would put a little bit on Tatum, not to score the points and make sure he gets over that number that he hasn't missed in over 100 games. It's the trust it. And I'll be looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, he was on my list, too. I'm glad you brought him up because it's appropriate.
Oh, I didn't mean to steal.
No,
you did say that earlier.
It's all good.
I was listening.
We can talk
Continue. I'll tell you what, add a layer to it.
We can talk about it together because I think you bring up a really good point. And I think for him, what would be great is you put the rock on the deck maybe early, get into the lane, get fouled, go to the free throw line, and kind of check that mental box that you're talking about. Because I think maybe early on you knock down a couple jump shots. You're not really having to plant and go because he's an MVP caliber player, as we all know. And I also think there's, in time, going to be some pressure from the fans because now they're looking at, we're the 2 seed right now in the East. We've seen this
better
team
with you or without you.
Well, Jaylen Brown's been awesome.
That's right.
But I think if they were a team that was like on the outside looking into the playoffs, expectations would be fairly low. But because the fans may be thinking, we can go back to the finals now that you're back, I think there's some pressure on the way for him in that way, too.
Baker told me that the Jackets 6-1 without Z. He should just stay out. I said, I don't know about that. Do we have to go that far? I'm with you, though.
You got one more?
Yeah. I'll stay in March Madness. I'll stay in Ohio, too. I'll go to the Bearcats because I like the Bearcats. This is a team that's beat Iowa State when they were number 2 in the nation. beat Kansas at their place when they're number 8 in the nation. And now they've won 6 of their last 7, and they beat BYU. I think TLC pointed this out the other day. They beat BYU on senior night. I think they took them apart, right? Am I wrong?
WVU?
Is it WVU? Did they not beat BYU?
Sure they did.
I don't know.
You got a good
All right.
memory.
Check it out for me, Maddie. Here's their record: 17-13, 9-8 in the Big 12. Here's the problem: they're hanging by a thread. Like, they've got 3 quad 1 wins, 3, and they're on the outside looking in. Yeah. And I think Wes Miller and the boys have a team that would be a scary out if they get in. And when they lead at halftime, they seal you up and put you in a bag. UC has won more regular season games as they head to they take it on TCU tomorrow at 2:00. And I'm sorry, they have 1 more regular season game, so that'll be that. Here's the stat I wanted to give you. They're 9-0 when they score 80 or more. So when they put the ball in the hole, that team is unbeatable right now. So I'm going to go with the UC Bearcats.
Okay.
With some pressure, because that's a team that has way too many quad 1s to not be around.
90-68 was that final.
Beat the brakes.
BYU, right?
Yeah,
I thought so, yeah.
Well, here we can put BYU in the pressure cooker, too, because they've lost 3 in a row.
That's right.
WVU being one of them, and then UCF the game before that.
Absolutely. Last candidate for me. If you're a pitcher for Team USA, not named Paul Skeens or Tarek Skubal, I'm putting cases on all you snitches. Because if they don't, if we don't win the World Baseball Classic, it's not going to be because of Aaron Judge and the hitters. I said it yesterday. I think that lineup is the best baseball lineup ever constructed as far as offense goes. I know the Dominican Republic may have something to say about that, but I'm rocking with the U.S. of A. So if you're Michael Wacha, Logan Webb, Matthew Boyd, the OG, and Clayton Kershaw, I think it's on them, AR. It starts tonight at 8 o'clock. I cannot wait. I love the World Baseball Classic. It is stars everywhere up and down this roster, but those guys have to get it done. We're only getting 1 start from Tarek Skubal, which absolutely sucks for us, and I get that. So those guys have to
pick only 1 inning.
Maybe so. Those guys have to pick up the slack. If they do, print the shirts. We're winning the World Baseball Classic, and we're getting our lick back against Otani in Japan from 2023.
I think you already did print the shirts.
Well, we're winning.
Yeah.
We're winning. Print the shirts.
All right, we're coming back with our guy, Brendan Deeg, in 2 minutes, NFL news editor at The Score. Is this guy going to live up to the hype? Can't wait to ask him next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, folks. Winter is here. The number 1 cost for everyone each month are those pesky heating bills that never stop increasing. It is time to take action and do something about it. Call USA Insulation today and get your home insulated with our premium foam for only $99 a month, interest-free. That's right, $99 a month. You can have a warm, cozy home that you and your family deserves. 529-2440, 529-2440, or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer & Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in just 1 day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer & Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's COMER cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
It's March. Send it in, big fella. That means the greatest sports weekend of the year is coming, and the best place to set the puppies and watch the tournament is at Hollywood Casino Columbus. I'm Scotty Vegas, and Thursday through Sunday opening weekend, kiss the kids goodbye and hang out from noon to 5 with the Fan at the Hollywood Casino Sportsbook. A Bill Raftery impersonation contest, free throw games, free shirts, and more. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. Onions!
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio Sports sports destination.
Anthony can follow direction very well as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. Our guy Brendan Deeg, NFL news editor at The Score, is with us now on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. My man, how we feeling?
Great day to be great, fellas. How we doing?
Outstanding. All right, this is the guy I want to ask you about. You've probably thought about it. Is Malik Willis going to live up to the hype or not?
I think he's worth taking the swing. It's going to be so interesting to see what the money looks like. Like he had I think just over 30 true dropbacks last season, so it was not a big sample size, but he did look great under Matt LaFleur's offense. Since he's been there, he deserves, to me, in my opinion, to be a starting quarterback. It's just the money thing is going to be so curious. Like there's a lot of different smoke about he could get $30 million. He could just get the Justin Field contracts that the Jets gave him, which is basically like a 1-year guaranteed deal that they can get out of after the first year. So I definitely think he deserves to be a starting quarterback. I'm fascinated to see how much money he makes because it's the sample size over the last years is so small, and it's a massive risk if you're willing to guarantee like $60 million on a 3-year, $90 million deal over 3 years. And I think it could get to that if you have the Arizona Cardinals, Cleveland Browns, other teams bidding on him.
Okay, you took me probably right where I wanted to go. Andrew Berry and the Browns say they're going to they say everything. They're going to look into the quarterback market, but Monken hasn't committed to any of the three guys. They just restructured Deshaun Watson's deal. And so Monken likes a guy that can move, and Willis would provide that. And they're going to probably they got to rebuild this offensive line, so they got to free up enough cap space for that. But you tell me, are the Browns going to go forward this year with what they've got? A Deshaun Watson who they pay a lot of money to, Shador, who they've leaned into now. Gabriel's been put to the back burner. Are they just going to ride this part out now and see what they have in Shador?
I think you're going to probably see like a veteran signing. Like Malik Willis would be the big swing. Like if they really like him in the building, like if Andrew Berry, Todd Monken, like you said, who likes a quarterback that can move, that would be the swing. Like in free agency, like I don't think they're going to trade or give up assets for another quarterback. I also don't think they're going to like reach for or spend assets in a quarterback in the draft, like in the first round. Like if you've been following the quarterback class, Fernando Mendoza is going number 1, and then after that it kind of gets dicey. You have to really like a guy to kind of take someone in the top 10. The Browns do have multiple picks now from the Travis Hunter trade, so I think they're going to kind of ride this year out with Sean Watson, Shedeur Sanders kind of competing, and they might add a veteran. Like I was looking at some free agent quarterbacks yesterday while I was on the news desk, and like for instance, like a Marcus Mariota, for instance, maybe like a Mitchell Trubisky, someone like that, like in my opinion, might fit into that rotation. But I don't think the Browns are going to kind of take their big swing at quarterback for in the first year of Todd Monken. Like Malik Willis would be that one, and I think he's going to go to Arizona or Miami, but I do think the Browns are going to check in on him.
So let's talk about Kyler Murray's market in your opinion, because to me he's a fascinating guy, and if I'm him, I would have my eyes on either Atlanta or Minnesota. Is there maybe a better fit in your mind than those two teams? Or if those two teams are high for you in your mind when it comes to Kyler, which one do you think would be the best fit?
I would be shocked if he's not a Viking, and at least in a few days. Like I think by next week he's going to be a Minnesota Viking. It just makes so much sense, right? The Vikings are strapped for cash. They're kind of clearing out cap space like crazy right now. Like they released Jonathan Allen. They cut Aaron Jones. They cut Javon Hargrave. They're a team that desperately needs a cheap quarterback. And we know how the contract offsets with the Arizona Cardinals. He's guaranteed about $37 million next year. And whatever team signs him can sign him on the minimum, because if you sign him for more, then that money offsets with Arizona. So he is like a super valuable, cheap quarterback asset. And I do think that he screams Minnesota. And if you're Kyler Murray, that would be the perfect landing spot, in my opinion. You go there, you have Justin Jefferson right there sitting for you, one of the best wide receivers in football. Kevin O'Connell, his reputation has kind of taken a little bit of a hit over the last year, but he's still one of the better offensive coaches. I just think that mix, it fits perfectly, and I would be shocked if he's not in a Minnesota Vikings jersey by, I guess, Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that way. Listen, if you hit on him, then you don't really care that you push J.J. McCarthy out, right? Because that's a win. We hit on a guy who is so you take a lot of shots in this world, right? He's a gamble. Take it. And if it pushes J.J. away, that's okay. The only part of it is if he's not good, well, if he's not good, then you continue the development of JJ. So I think it is a win-win. Let me ask you from the other standpoint. I know he only played in 5 games. He had the foot injury last year. What's your best? He hasn't lived up to it. Why are the Cardinals so set on getting rid of him? He was the offensive rookie of the year 5-6 years ago. I know he didn't live up to it. He's played just one playoff game, and all this money they owe to him. What's the big reason why you gotta move on?
I think it's more the ownership just wants him out of the building, Bidwell. I think he's probably the main driving force in this. They gave him a lot of money, and they have got nothing for it. And if you're an owner, the Arizona Cardinals ownership, like you're kind of sick and tired of it, right? Like you pay that contract. Like the second I still remember, like the second there was that homework clause in his contract. Do you guys remember this? Or when he was signed, like the red flags were flying everywhere. They're like, if you have to put that in the quarterback's contract, there's got to be a little bit of hesitation of paying that money. I just think it was just kind of fatigue at this point. Like he's played just over like 60% of his games over the last 3 years. He's been multiple. He's had torn ACLs. We had the foot last year. Just the investment hasn't paid off at all. Like you said, he's played one playoff game, and like if I'm. This is like the first time also Kyler has failed in his life. I was thinking about this too. If you kind of think about it, like he was the best high school football player in Texas. He's like the most winningest and productive college football player, high school player in that state. He's won the Heisman Trophy. This is the first time he's felt failure in his life, and I think the Arizona it was just one of those things where they just had to kind of rip the Band-Aid off. Would I have done it? I'm not 100% sure. Like, what's the avenue for a quarterback if you are Arizona, right? Like, you're going to go pay Malik Willis, like I said, that 3-year, like $80-90 million deal, and he's going to be your guy. You know, Mike LaFleur is going to want someone like to lead this offense. They're not going to kind of just roll with Jacoby Brissett again. So it's a dicey move. Like this can come back to bite them. Like what if Kyler goes out and motivates him? Like I said, he hasn't failed in his life really on the sports side, and he plays great. Like it will look bad because this is an organization that failed to capitalize on a number 1 overall pick and a guy that you gave a second contract to for a lot of money. So it's risky, but I think just to go back to the original question, I do think that it was kind of ownership pushed. Bidwell just wanted to rip his band off and get this contract out of there and pay the 1-year deal of $37 million and move on.
Let's live in a world right now where we know that Mike Evans isn't going back to Tampa. I still think that's kind of the favorite on the board, but let's play a little game here to where we're not living in that world. Where is your favorite Mike Evans destination if he is not going to be a Buccaneer?
I think it would have been Buffalo until yesterday. So that I think that one's off the board. A sneaky one I was kind of thinking about, and I know this might be crazy, but there were some ties to AJ Brown and the Los Angeles Rams. Like, what if he just wants to go win a Super Bowl next year, and like another one on his resume? And what if he's willing to kind of take a little bit less money and go to Los Angeles Rams? That's one. If Washington Commanders desperately need a wide receiver, they're probably willing to give him a lot of money. So it kind of depends on what he wants, right? Like if he's just willing to kind of take less money. 95% of free agents, it's all about the money, but I think you could maybe bucket Evans into that 5% of he's a veteran. He just kind of wants to pick his landing spot. I'd watch out for the Rams as like him being just wanting to go win a Super Bowl, and then I think Washington fits as a team that like they just desperately need wide receivers. With Deebo Samuel gone, they need a number 2 across from Terry McLaurin, and I think that one also makes sense.
What if you got the correct city but not the correct team? What if you got L.A. right?
Chargers.
Yes.
You think of Chargers?
Yeah, because he fit. When you said he needs a couple things. He needs a quarterback, and he needs a team that could be a contender, and he also needs the football. And he probably gets all that there.
Yeah, and he could probably get the best of both worlds. He could, like the Chargers have, I think they're 3rd in NFL cap space right now. He could get the money and the quarterback and kind of get everything you want. So that's definitely another option as well. Let
me ask you this before we let you go. Would you let Kyler Murray off the hook if he told you that the homework clause was in his contract, but he was playing Madden? Does that help, where he was actually doing his homework?
I think if he had to play with his head coach all the time, because one of my biggest like takes on NFL coaches, if I was to hire him, I would make him sit there and play multiple games of Madden to see how he plays. So if it was like you have to play with your head coach, absolutely.
Real quick, the McDuffie trade to LA. Just talk about both sides and the impact for both here in our last minute.
Yeah, so when this trade happened, I was thinking about something I heard a couple weeks before. Eric, the last time the Chiefs have extended a player, a defensive back that they have drafted, you have to go back to Eric Berry. It's been that long. This is a team that almost like the money ball, like they'll create Jason Giambi in the aggregate. Like they'll bring in multiple defensive backs to replace the guy they moved out. We saw them trade L'Jarius Sneed. They traded Marcus Peters to the Rams as well. Like this is a team that's willing to kind of go younger and find different bodies to fit in with Spagnuolo's system. So I get it from that angle. I just think McDuffie's a different player than L'Jarius Sneed was. L'Jarius Sneed was aging, and same with Marcus Peters. Like McDuffie's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. I know they kind of got like a quote unquote draft haul, but that first round pick towards the end of the first, they got a third attached to it. They have to hit on these picks now for the Chiefs. Like you have 3 picks in the top 40, you have to hit on these. This is so important for Brett Veach now, because if not, like you just got. You can make the argument McDuffie's, like, besides Patrick Mahomes, might be the best player on the roster. Like Creed Humphrey and Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, like he's that good. Like I think it's risky for the Chiefs. I think it's different than the other defensive back trades that they made. So I love it for the Rams as well. Like I think this is a home run. You already have the Falcons pick at the beginning of the first round. You have the money to extend him. You're able to now kind of solidify your weakest position on the roster that they've just thrown so many darts at in the secondary and haven't been able to solidify a top guy. So love it for the Rams. It's kind of wait and see for the Chiefs, because this puts them in a tough spot.
Good stuff, my man. Brendan Deeg, NFL News editor. Please check out their site at thescore.com. It's awesome. Thanks, bud. Have a good weekend.
You guys are the best. Enjoy your weekend.
Brendan Deeg with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, we're going to come back with the Buckeye Bulletin and massive game on tap for Ohio State. We'll tell you what Jake Diebler had to say about his team and where they stand on the bubble, and we'll update you on what Bruce needs to be the best. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Get your car ready for spring adventures. This month at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location, buy 3 select tires and get 1 free. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends March 31st. See store for details.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Mortgage rates have dropped, and the best news is they're expected to go down even more. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. If you've been thinking about buying a new home, now is the time. And with Third Federal's Buy Now, Refi Later program, you don't have to wait for rates to drop again. You get the guaranteed lowest rate now, and if rates drop later, even after you close, you can refinance to a lower rate for free. That's right, for free. And now with Third Federal's early rate lock, you can lock in the guaranteed lowest rate even before you find a house. So you'll always have the best rate. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today and lock in the guaranteed lowest rate.
Right now at Third Federal, lock in 5.79% APR 5.82% on a 30-year fixed rate purchase mortgage and refinance later if rates go down for free. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for buy now, refi later. Lowest rate guarantee and early rate lock at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Bishop and Friends.
At 6, Cliff Kingsbury.
Come again?
Higher or lower for Kingsbury at 6.
All right, I didn't have this list up.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Cellar.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Buy 4 windows and get 4 free plus an extra 10% off from windownation.com.
All right, not long ago, you and I sat here and did the math, and it looked like the Indiana game was going to be it. And here we are. Bruce Thornton is 12 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State and passing the great Dennis Hobson. And he's going to get it. I would think outside of something really weird, he is going to get it. And he's going to get it in a very, very meaningful game. Not just his final home regular season game, but a game that could launch his team into the dance and just cement it.
Dancing, baby.
And I saw that Diebler today had mentioned, he was asked about his team and whether they belonged in the tournament, and I'll give you some of the notes that came out of that. He went pretty deep into the metrics, started quoting the net and the other stuff.
Absolutely.
So Ohio State is 32 in the net, and let's see what else. He goes, we're above a lot of teams in the net, and they're also above, let me see where they are in this other one. What is that? What's that other one, Maddie? Wins above the bubble.
Oh. Another version of wins above replacement baseball?
The WAB. And I guess they view it as a pretty crucial thing. Resume-based metric, of course. We're all computers and analytics these days. Still trying to get my Humanalytics in there somewhere. But the Humanalytics will play out tomorrow at 5:30. And so I guess the WAB, like I said, is going to measure a team's win against a projected average bubble team. So the top teams like Michigan and Duke, obviously they're consistently lead the WAB. So I'll give you an example. Michigan is, where are they? They're like 10 to 10.5 in the WAB. That ranks them number 1.
Sounds like a whole other basketball.
Yeah, Ohio State ranks 39 in the WAB. And Jake likes that. Why wouldn't he? And you like that. Ohio State 32 in the net, 39 in the WAB. All right, you've got that going for you. Now go win the game. Right?
Yeah, that's absolutely paramount.
Forget about their fancy uniforms and their weird metrics. Mm-hmm. And remember what got you here.
Movie?
Oh. Hoosiers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I may have gotten there. I think maybe after my first guess, I may have gotten there.
You get every time I do like a Rocky, you get it because I have to go, because it ain't how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Go easy.
That's how winning's done.
It's good.
These are the exotic animals I was telling you about.
I don't know if I like
my friends, Cuff and Link.
That would have been a great trivia question if you didn't finish that soundbite. I would have asked you what his turtles' names were. And I would have been blown away if you were able to get them.
Dang it.
Yeah. But anyway, see, because I can't contort the mouth and do the voice without you knowing it is Rocky.
I don't know if I like your Rocky more, your Lou Holtz more, your Mel Kiper more, because all three are good.
The Rocky one I haven't done in a long time.
That was really good.
Sometimes I like to add an Arnold with a Rocky because they're kind of in the same era.
You also have a good Harry Carey, too, man. You're in your bag with
I need
that
your
one
clothes,
as well.
your boots, your motorcycle.
You got a little Harry Carey from AR over there?
That's my Well, I'm here.
There goes one over the fence.
Well, I'm here.
I could do it
I guess
live.
I could have just asked you.
You got any ice on tape over there we can do for the third hour? I'll let you go. Get started on your weekend early.
Really stick in the box.
There you go. So he's 12 points away.
Got a game tonight.
And it's a big game. I don't have a spread on the game yet.
Ooh, let me get that.
No, I don't think they put it out. It's probably 24 hours, college basketball. Now, if you can find that, I'm all for hearing it. But I don't think you're going to.
Because it's not the WNBA, so we're not stepping aside from
Or the
this.
WBA.
Yeah, WAB.
The metrics.
Oh, man. But yeah, this is it's going to be awesome. It should be a great atmosphere over there tomorrow. I think Bruce is going to get it done. I'm not going to print the shirts on him. I would hate to put that bad juju out there for him, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You're going to say that you're not going to do it.
Yeah,
you're going to say
staying
it,
away.
But
I'm staying away from that. He's been an awesome bucket getter his entire career. I mean, you look at how he just ramped up from his first year averaging 11 to 15 to 18 to now almost 20 a night. I mean, this dude has been an absolute star, and so they're going to do everything in their power to slow him down, but a lot of teams try to do that. They've been trying to do that for years now. He knows how to be crafty and use his strength and his shooting ability and his touch in all those different ways to get buckets. And so I fully expect that tonight, but everybody's got to continue to roll with him, right? They handle business against Northwestern. Mobley is on one right now. And so that guy's coming in with the utmost confidence, as he should and always does. But it's just about the little things in a game like this, because Indiana knows what time it is as well, and just cleaning up the glass, the lack of turnovers, those are the things that they have to take care of at home tomorrow.
A little Buckeye news here, former Buckeye news. The Buffalo Bills are cutting Curtis Samuel. Those two, I mean, maybe we saw this coming last couple years.
He's lasted a long time.
Yeah, well, he's had injuries, and the injuries have led to bad production. And so Shefty just tweeting this in the last 20 minutes. Source, Bills are releasing Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, 29 years old right now. Carolina, Washington, Buffalo the last couple years.
Turned out like that's a bad signing. 3 years, $24 million. He signed him a couple years ago.
Got his money, but it is a bad signing by the team for sure. But you hand a guy that type of money because of his explosive playmaking abilities, right? When he is healthy, and so that has been in question.
Once they traded for DJ Moore, got DJ Moore,
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was Keon Coleman that was cut too, based off some of the vibes that are around him. You know, that wouldn't have surprised me if that was the case. And so, yeah, it's been tough sledding for him as well. And then we got news in the last couple minutes that Taylor Decker's no longer a Detroit Lion. So apparently he asked for his release to get out of Detroit, and I will not be surprised if he stays in that division and goes to link up with his former offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, in Chicago, because they got some offensive line needs as well. And so Detroit, a team that's been knocking on the door, has to rework their offensive line along with the Chicago Bears. And so, yeah, Taylor Decker no longer a Lion.
Yeah, so he was scheduled to make, I'm looking at his contract right here, $15 million this year. There was a bonus coming, a couple of in-game bonuses. That's a heavy cap hit, $21 million. So maybe, I'm just guessing, that they wanted to redo it.
And he told him to kick rocks?
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, not going to do it. Not taking a pay cut. Not going to just stick around.
Right.
Or maybe they didn't do that and they said, you're going to be competing this year.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right?
He might retire.
It's kind of what, yeah.
Taylor Decker, there were multiple Lions who were doing this in the post-game presser after their final game of the year, but he seemed like he couldn't even take it anymore with the injuries that he had to deal with.
Could be in play for sure. I mean, he's been in the league since 2016, and so he's 32 years old. And yeah, you play it down in the trenches, man. Your body's absolutely going to get beat up.
He said he couldn't throw a football.
Lucky for him, he does.
He said his shoulders were that beat up.
Is that worse than Giancarlo Stanton saying he can't open a bag of chips?
But he's playing 162 this year.
I don't know if he's lying or what, but I saw the headline.
He said he's ready to go for the season, but he can't open a bag of chips and can't open a Gatorade bottle.
You're supposed to do it with two hands or use your teeth, and then you can get it done.
Movie?
No movie.
Oh.
I'm just...
life advice.
It's great that you automatically think it's a quote. I actually take that as a compliment. We're going to come back top of the hour, and we'll reset on the trade deadline with the Jackets, what they've done so far, and the fact that they've got about an hour and 5 minutes left to do more. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Looking for a job that's all fun and games? El Dorado Scioto Downs, your premier Caesars entertainment destination in Columbus, is hiring passionate and hardworking individuals to our winning team. We're filling multiple positions, including security, food and beverage, gaming attendants, and more. Whether you're looking for a new career or a seasonal position at the action-packed racetrack, we've got you covered. Meet the team at our hiring fair on Friday, March 20th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the clubhouse, or apply online today at Caesars.com/careers. Must be 21 plus to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got my own good feet story. I fought plantar fasciitis for a while. That's that horrible heel pain that seems to come out of nowhere. And not being on my feet was not ever going to be an option for me. I did all the home remedies, rolling the tennis ball under my feet. The relief never really stuck until I went to the Good Feet store, where I was personally fitted with Good Feet arch supports based on my feet and arch size and the goals I have for my lifestyle. As soon as I popped them in my shoes, I could feel the difference. And now every day, my feet feel good. My knees, my hips, my back, they all feel supported and so much better aligned. I've complained about my back for years, but guess what? Nobody's heard me talk like that in a long time. These are a game changer for me every day. They're in my shoes to work out, to go to work, and soon in my golf shoes. The journey to feeling my pain go away has been nothing short of awesome, and just feeling the support I get puts me in a great mood. So stop in either at their store in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, or get started right now at goodfeet.com.
Ah, college. A time to broaden the mind, question, learn. A time to challenge the status quo. And eat a ridiculous amount of pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of The Ohio State University and the unofficial bank of pizza. Let's go Bucks! Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. You think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver, more careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker, an hour away from the NHL trade deadline, waiting to see if the Columbus Blue Jackets make any more moves after acquiring forward Connor Garland from the Vancouver Canucks. General Manager Don Waddell will speak with the media at 4 this afternoon. The CBJ hosting the Utah Mammoth tomorrow night at 7. The Ohio State women's basketball team continuing Big Ten tournament play this afternoon in Indy. They will take on Minnesota here in about a half hour. Tyler Danberg and Kristen Watt have the call over on the Fan 2 beginning in 10 minutes. Senior night at the Shot tomorrow night as the Buckeyes host Indiana at 5:30. The Fan warm-up show gets underway at 4:30. Adam Schefter is reporting that the Buffalo Bills are releasing former Buckeye Curtis Samuel. This one's sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, your convenience store for metal. Visit Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com or 2180 Wilson Road for all your metal needs.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, final hour of the program. Pat Murphy, we'll talk Buckeyes with him bottom of the hour, 2:30.
Yeah, because they get going next week.
Mm-hmm.
Football is here, AR. You ready?
Yeah, spring ball, I'm ready.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't need to just blow off the summer, though, like you.
I actually enjoy
summer.
I enjoy the summer, man, because, you know, I'm a baseball nerd and all that stuff. So kind of marinating in that is good for a while. But next week, for sure, getting Coach Day and his crew out there again. And, look, it's never going to be anything crazy as far as high intensity at the spring game. But getting to know some of the new faces, especially some of the transfers that have come in. I know there's a lot of people excited to see what Chris Henry is going to look like. It'll be fun to hear from them and see what we get from those guys in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, the non-sexy stuff is the offensive line, and I think Josh Padilla has shown a lot because I think that right side is what they really want to get after. Like that's what he's got to solidify. And I think Padilla showed a lot, and I think that he's going to battle. Van Sickle wasn't ready. I think it was unfair. It's almost unfair. Right?
Yeah, he was thrown into a tough spot for sure.
Yeah, he struggled against Indiana when he had to replace Tegra. So I think Josh Padilla has a real leg up on this thing. And then I think you and I want to make sure that, and everybody does, that Brandon Innes, who was voted a captain last year, is more than that guy. And I think he can be. He's somebody that is a leader, and now it comes down to, will that leadership equal production? And so it's his time with Carnell leaving. And so here we are. He's the number 2. So you've got a chance. You'll have an opportunity. You got a great quarterback. You'll have an opportunity to put up numbers.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I love that you brought up the offensive line because that's high on my priority list, too, to just gauge their confidence early on in the guys that they have. But also next week, I don't know if he's scheduled to speak, but hearing from Arthur Smith, right, and his vision of what he wants this to be is going to be high priority for me to sit down and lock into what he's got going on, because he has to obviously feel good about the situation that he's coming into. But sometimes these things can take a little time, and that's why obviously there's spring ball, so you have this time to get out there on the practice field and figure out what you have as a play caller. But that's what I can't wait to hear, AR, is what he has as far as a vision now as a play caller coming into Columbus next week.
I keep saying, if he elevates their running game, then everything clicks. Play action clicks, everything works. And I know people want to probably put it all on the offensive line last year, but I'll tell you, it's probably not popular to say, but the running backs kind of underwhelmed at the end when it really counted. Like hitting the spots and going and seeing it and getting it. Like there has to be that too. It can't just be in the offensive line, because there were a lot of times where they probably blocked it pretty well and weren't getting yards.
And part of the job, too, is when there aren't the cleanest of paths, carving out a path and getting of those tough yards. And when you get, to the outside, if there's a guy there, either making a guy miss or getting him off you and grabbing those grimy yards that you have to rack up as a quarterback, running back, whoever has the ball as a ball carrier. This is what you have to do, but specifically those running backs. And so, yeah, that's a unit that has had to hear this offseason. This offensive line, I'm sure those guys are foaming at the mouth to get back out there on the field. But more importantly, just really put together some good reps throughout the rest of the spring and the summer. That way, when we get to game number 1, that ramp-up game against Ball State, they can start throwing some dudes out of the club. But the prove-it game will be that game in Austin. Because
it's going to be tough.
The narrative,
they're better.
The narrative around them right now a little bit is, yeah, you can move around some teams that are lesser than you as far as talent goes. But when you meet some of those talent-equated games, if you will, like that did not go well for them. And so that's what they're going to have to answer is that week 2 call. And I'm sure those guys cannot wait to get to that moment.
Yeah, this will get them. They'll have some scars this year. They'll be more battle-tested. This is the year where you're going to maybe have to take the bad with the good. And the other part is it's pretty easy when you have this amount of talent to run in space. Running backs are going to look pretty damn good against lesser teams. They should.
Yep.
It's what I saw last year late against really good defenses. They couldn't get the hard yards when they needed it a lot of the time. And so now we'll get to find out, because everybody put it on the O-line. Like there was not a hair of narrative against the running backs. Like it couldn't have been them. And I think there were times where it was. And so that'll be Arthur's job to kind of identify that and see where he can elevate it.
Yep.
Don Waddell's job to see where he can help the Jackets happened late last night, and he grabbed a 29-year-old winger who can I'd probably play either side, but he's a right shot guy. Not big. Connor Garland is not going to win the look test, but you don't have to as a hockey player. Where you win that is on the ice, and he has. I think he plays a lot bigger than 5'8", 5'9". I've watched him. He's had a low production year, but they're a stinky team that he came from in Vancouver. I thought Waddell hit a big, what I call it a home run. I think it's just a real win-win. He gave up a couple of picks. He's got picks. A second and third back to Vancouver. Imagine getting Garland in the draft with your second pick or your second-round pick. You'd love it. So he's small, which means he's always going to be fast. And I think his production, he has a really high floor. Like, I'm not worried that he's less than that this year. 17 to 20 goals, 40 to 50 points. I think you probably could lock that in most years. And I also think this is big because it plays in with the Marchman injury. How much will he miss? Is he going to miss? This team can't afford to lose momentum. And that's why this trade makes sense. This isn't an all-in move. This isn't a move to go win the cup. It's none of that. It's a move for insulation and to keep momentum. The insulation part for me is this, that if they don't see Kent Johnson do something here in the last handful of 15, 20 games, then all of a sudden you see a potential of that the Connor Garland signing could probably help him if he wanted to move someone, or he didn't re-sign the UFAs, most of them. Now he's got a guy who's locked in for 6 years with a no move for the first 3, that gives him a better insurance policy that if he did, and I say if, because last night on the broadcast, he was about, let's stick it out with Kent. Like, he's a scorer.
Let me ask you this,
Connor's got a lot more in his bag than Kent does as far as, like, versatility.
What type of market do you think is realistically out there right now for KJ? Like, right now?
I think there is a market for him.
Because of
last year?
Potential?
Yeah. Oh, still young.
Age,
young,
all that.
Scoring ability,
okay.
all that.
For sure.
I think the fear is, the gamble is that the longer you keep him and the longer he doesn't live up to that, then you lose some.
Correct.
But that's a gamble. None of this stuff is a science. You're dealing with human beings. I don't know. Maybe I've always said this. Sometimes when people.
You know what? Life's a gamble. Let's take it.
That's right, Thurman. You got it, pal. And they took a gamble on you, and you turned into a Hall of Famer. So the situation with him is there's no rush. You get no rush. Like, let's see if he jumps off a little bit here at the end of the year. He's shown something lately.
You think this was a message to him in any way?
No, I don't.
From the front office?
Message, I think, is too harsh of a word. I think it's just I think they're doing right by him. By letting him sit a little bit, letting him kind of just observe a little bit. It's not the greatest thing for the ego.
I think that's a message.
But it's not.
I think that's.
They're not trying to damage.
It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but I think It's okay to apply a little pressure from the front office.
See, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're actually trying to take pressure off.
Maybe so, but I also think, too, that if you're going to start minimizing his minutes and bringing in this new asset and taking him off the ice a little bit, to me, that's a message.
Well, that helps. I agree with that. That does. And like I said, you could move him this summer. He still had 24 goals last year. Yeah. That's pretty, to answer your original question, that's still tempting for a lot of people. But you dangle him with a first-round pick, and now all of a sudden you're swimming in big waters.
Okay.
Now you're able to grab a big fish. And I'm not saying you need to do that. Right now, would he be in a trade package in the last 45 minutes? I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. So he's got picks. He can deal. Don can deal. He's got what it takes. He's making an argument. But I like this. This is a nice pickup. People in the hockey world, this is a durable guy. He's a good leader. He's going to be great with us in the media. He's a good room guy. He's got term. The cap's going to go up. So the price, while originally I got a little sticker shock on it, I don't have it anymore. And so this gives them a lot. He's a guy that I said earlier in the program, you just joined, you will not have to look to find him. He will be everywhere. He's going to buzz around and be in the mix and go to the tough areas as a little guy, and you're going to be like, you know what? This is a jacket.
He's going to be rejuvenated. There's no doubt, too, right? Like, because of the situation he was in and how bad of a season his now prior team was having, to come into a situation to where Z and Boone and Fantilli and all these guys are coming in excited about what they have in front of them and the opportunities that they have in front of him. Of course, you would want to hop on that moving train and feel that energy every day. And so hopefully he can get back to the player that he's been in his career, because right now the output has been a little bit light. I hear what you're saying about there's going to be other things that he can do, but I also think, too, he can help out in certain areas out there on the ice because he's done it before. So hopefully that will be the case. And if he rounds into the form that he's shown in the league for years and years now, then this will be a nice pickup.
This is a very, very versatile guy, and that is a compliment. This is not saying, oh, she had a great personality. This is a guy that has some substance. I think they're going to like him a lot. By the way, just here's the quick update. With everything, all the help they got last night and the great win, 1 point behind the Bruins now for the second wild card. But maybe even more important, only 3 points behind the Islanders with 2 games in hand on the Isle.
Let's go.
So they're in a pretty good spot. This momentum has stuck. Don's leaning into it.
Yeah.
He's not going to wreck his team just to try to make a weird run, but he helped his team last night.
And they had to get that momentum back, right? You came out of the break and you hit a couple speed bumps, and these guys have won 3 in a row, so it's been fun.
And Z's been on, this is tough for him because Z didn't have a break, and it finally caught up with him. And this is probably as sick as he told us the other day. This is as sick as he's ever been, and now he's missed a few. And I think now they're committed to making sure he gets a week off. Like, we're this far, get to 100%. We don't need any setbacks now. And like you said, they're winning without him. All right, we're going to come back. And did a certain player throw a jab at his former coach? And another elite guy calls this the worst quarterback class in 20 years. We'll tell you who said that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Most people don't think about their garage door until it stops working. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. There's never a good time for your garage door to break, whether you're rushing to work or you're trying to get the kids to school. We know how much you rely on your garage door. That's why we offer same-day repairs, because life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage door is what we do, but making your life easier and your home safer is why we do it. Families trust us because we deliver, and we'd be honored to earn your trust too. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right. We communicate effectively and stand behind our work. So when quality matters, call Brothers Roofing and Construction.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.79% APR 5.82% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
When we make time to read with kids, children get the message that reading is important and fun. When we read books that have characters of all races, backgrounds, genders, and abilities, students can discover their own voices and learn from the voices of others. I'm Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing. As we take part in Read Across America celebrations this week and all year round, please join the OEA in celebrating our nation of diverse readers so we can set up all Ohio students for success.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Sunday mornings at 8.
It's the Fan Call-In Show, presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny skies and highs soaring into the mid-70s. We do have an isolated chance of showers and thunderstorms, though, in the afternoon. Otherwise, we remain mainly dry as we go into tonight. Partly cloudy skies, breezy winds, and lows in the 60s. For Saturday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon with breezy winds, some which could be on the stronger side. Otherwise, we'll have partly cloudy skies and highs in the mid to low 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, so we know Todd Monken is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And they haven't done anything yet, but apparently he's done pretty well in the popularity department amongst his own team. So Quinshon Judkins, the former Buckeye and Browns running back who went through that devastating injury. Is this a quote, TLC, or actual sound?
Actual sound.
Okay, so he appeared on Caleb's podcast?
Yes.
Okay. And he was asked, is the question in there, or do I have to set this up?
The question's asked, I think.
Okay. All right. Basically,
let's
in case it's not, if he's heard from his new coach yet, kind of deal. Have you heard from Monken yet?
Pressing play.
Have you heard from your new head coach, Todd Monken, yet?
Bro, I have. And, bro, honestly, like, it's not what I thought it would have been. Like, when I say that in a good way.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought he was going to be, like, more so, like, because my past coach, bro, he was, like, really even keel, bro, like, super quiet. I thought I was going to get that from Coach Monken, but it wasn't that. Like, he was, like, a real players coach, bro. Like, you know, like, give me a hug, like all that, bro. So he was just super communicative of what he wanted from the team, what his goal is, what his objective is, what he want to come in and do. And, you know, he knows exactly what he wants, and he has a vision. And I think that's what's important as a head coach, and especially being vocal about it, too. I think that's what matters.
This is being spun a little bit as anti-Stefanski. If I wouldn't have known, I mean, you know, this guy was quiet and even keeled, which isn't an insult. But I guess the way he lit up with about Monken,
I didn't really take it as a big jab at Stefanski. It sounds like he may
different styles,
prefer more of the style from Monken, though, right?
Yeah.
And look, there may be some guys that are in that locker room that like the way Kevin Stefanski went about his business and not having a guy that's always, you know, on your heels about everything and rah-rah about everything. Look, there's no perfect way, I think, to be a coach, but something that he was talking about is making that connection with your players. I think if you can do that early on and gain the trust, but maybe even more importantly, the respect of your guys, that can go a long, long way. And Monken knows how important Quinshon's going to be to his success as a head coach. And so hopefully he can come back healthy, because Quinshon was showing early that he was about that action boss in the NFL. Like, they absolutely did a really good job with that rookie class. Tough injury that he had. And so Monken's coming from a system to where he knew what to do with a really good running back in Derrick Henry. He's going to know what to do with a guy like Quinshon if the guys up front are going to be able to do their job. And so we talked a few days ago about how the Browns offensive line has a long way to go even after acquiring Titus Howard from Houston. But that's obviously what you want to hear as a Browns fan, is that a guy that's going to be an important piece of your team is on board with who the next head coach is, and Todd Monken, and the tone that he set early on.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to take this as anti-Stefanski stuff. I think it's a refreshing thing. I think that there's a lot of people in any job would say there's a certain honeymoon phase with your boss or your coach.
Or your girlfriend or your boyfriend,
right.
whoever.
Some coaches come in or some bosses come in and you know right away, this isn't going to work. Or I can't adapt to this.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have an open mind about me. Or I could tell. The writing's on the wall. I speak from experience. I've been there. You just kind of know. You just get a feeling.
You want to drop any names?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
I got two questions.
That name's not even relevant.
Man.
I got two questions. Let's see if I'm smart enough to remember both of them. Do you read into at all the fact that he didn't name drop Stefanski and he just referred to him as my old coach?
No.
It's a little. I'm with you.
I think we're searching for something there. I think we are.
Well, I think it could have been very easy for him to say all coaches have different styles. I liked Coach Stefanski, but I'll tell you what, when
play it again. Can you play it again?
Yeah, sure. Or at least the beginning.
Just the beginning. Yeah, good call.
Have you heard from your new head coach, Todd Monken, yet?
Bro, I have. And, bro, honestly, like, it's not what I thought it would have been. Like, when I say that in a good way.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought he was going to be, like, more so, like, because my past coach, bro, he was, like, really even keel, bro, like, super quiet. I thought I was going to get that from Coach Monken, but it wasn't that. Like, he was, like, a real players coach, bro, like.
That's the line. So, by the way, that was the line.
That was the second question.
That's the line.
My second question was the very first thing that he said about Todd Monken to contrast him from Stefanski.
No, everything was fine.
We're digging too deep into this. That's not a jab at Stefanski.
Everything was fine for me. So. Everything was absolutely fine and perfect when him saying, listen, we got a 60-year-old head coach. I was expecting a different guy. I was expecting an older, that's what I'm reading into what I think he thought. That, hey, when I heard about Todd Monken we got a 60-year-old head coach, I think I'm going to get more of the same. And when he didn't, it surprised him. That's perfectly fine. When he threw in the line about that he's a real players coach, then I have to make the jump that Stefanski wasn't in his mind. He didn't say
that was the first differentiator he listed.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't land for me that way
It's
over
not
here. Because let me
horrible.
ask
It
you,
just
why
lands differently.
would he have a reason to take a dig at Stefanski?
No,
This
I think,
isn't
he
like,
did, I think he did it without even trying.
So that's why I don't think it's a real thing. Like
In fact,
that's why I don't
I'm
think
with you
there's
on
any
that.
static between
Yeah,
the
I'm
two
with you
of
on
them.
that.
I think the fact that he didn't name drop Stefanski specifically was him trying to protect him, because not that he was like trying to call him out, but like you know how it is. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is probably the king of this. Of like, if you're calling somebody out, but then like but we don't need to name who they are. We know who they are. It's like,
Like the verbal subtweet.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
well, if we know who you're talking about, why don't you just tell us? Like, what are you afraid of? So it's like,
you just tell us the coach you're talking
some
about.
people, when they're bad mouthing somebody, don't like to attach the name directly, and so
I bad mouthing him though.
No,
I really
just,
don't.
I
Like,
think that
politely as possible.
I don't even think that. I don't even think he was really thinking about Stefanski as opposed to him glowing about Monken. I think that's what it was.
And
for
I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, but do we take from this that as of now, and this is easy when no games have been played yet, and I'm sure if the Browns go 5-12 this year, I'm sure that the players aren't going to be that thrilled. But as of right now, do you take from that Quinshon Judkins likes Todd Monken more than Kevin Stefanski? Not necessarily that he
I think
dislikes
he
Kevin
welcomed
Stefanski.
the new style that he wasn't expecting. So I think you're actually making a molehill out of an anthill. That's all.
I don't think
Which one's bigger?
I assume a molehill would be
bigger
How
than
about
the
an
anthill.
farm?
I would think. I don't know though. But I think you're right, AR.
Yeah, that's all. I think it was a very pleasant surprise of what he was expecting. He expected this was going to be coach swap, that it was going to be the same, more of the same, and meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And he lit up a little bit because the guy actually was not what he expected. So,
which I think is a positive. And so it seems
looking forward to it.
Shador's on board. He's buying Monken gifts already.
What's the Cam Newton stuff?
I don't know if we have time for that.
What was it?
Cam's, I don't know. You tell me, TLC.
Here's the
We have enough
summation
time?
of it.
We got time.
No,
we got a little time. Just tell it quickly.
here's the summation of it, is that Cam Newton basically blamed...
Summation?
All right, here's what we could do. We're going to have Pat Murphy on in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let's leave ourselves a minute and a half on the back end of that, producer, and then we can do this story.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
That's why you won Emmys.
Okay.
We could tell the truth on it too.
No, we may not be able to tell the truth because I may be hitting a buzzer beater.
Well done.
All right, we're going to come back with Pat Murphy next. And Maddie, I've got a question for him. It's probably a half of a trivia question, and this comes from another person. So I'm going to be asking a question for this person to Pat. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Leaky pipes, no hot water, issues with your sewer or drains? When plumbing problems strike, Logan Services is ready to help you out. We offer free estimates on water heaters, water softeners, and drain lines. Whether it's a surprise leak or an aging water tank, we'll give you an honest recommendation so you can take action fast. Don't wait. Schedule your free plumbing estimate now. Fast, friendly service you trust from Logan Services.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love.
Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
Always great to talk Buckeye football with Ohio State beat writer, Bucknuts 24/7, CBS Sports as well, our friend Patrick Murphy. Murph Dog. Welcome back, my man. I got a trivia question for you, by the way.
All right.
It may not even be a trivia, but it's more of an informative question. So this comes from a loyal listener named Ross. And Ross wants to know if there's ever been a college football team that has employed two former pro head coaches as coordinators on the college team at the same time. That comes from Ross, a guy named Ross B. I'll protect the last name.
Yeah, I had a bit of a heads up that this was coming, so I did some research. I used a combination of my own research habits and some AI, and I cannot find anything where this has been the case. I found some close situations where, like in 2021, Nick Saban had Bill O'Brien as his OC and Doug Marrone as his offensive line coach, but not the same as coordinators. There's a couple other instances like that. So I think this is the first time. I don't know if Ryan knew that when he hired Arthur Smith to join Matt Patricia on staff, but I think this might be the first time in at least modern college football history that you've seen something like this, which is kind of wild.
Well, Arthur Smith is going to be the surprise, right, for Buckeye fans, right? Because this narrative has been, oh, no, the offense is going to bog down again and, in the red zone, and here comes sluggish like a wet sponge. And I tell you, man, if they got to elevate anything, it's that run game. And I would think once they do that, he's not going to ignore weapons, that's for sure. What is your anticipation of an Arthur Smith-led offense at Ohio State?
Yeah, I think first, and you guys know this, like this is still Ryan Day's offense, right? They still have Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith, and he's going to be very heavily involved in terms of making sure the passing game is where it needs to be. I was familiar with Arthur Smith just from watching NFL, but obviously I've looked more into him since this hiring was announced, and I think it makes a lot of sense considering you do need to bolster that run game, and you look at the track record. Yeah, he had a really good running back in Tennessee and Derrick Henry, no doubt about that. But Derrick Henry had his best rushing year of his career under Arthur Smith, which tells me something on its own. And then even if you look at the Steelers, where they haven't had a ton of talent, Najee Harris, best year of his career, at least to that point. And then last year, both Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren had their most rushing yards. So I think the combination of that, you add in Tyler Bowen, they just brought in another offensive line coach who's worked with Arthur Smith before. Like, I understand, especially Steelers fans who are also Buckeye fans, maybe a little trepidation there, but he's never had these type of weapons, right? He's never had a quarterback of this level. And, not to say anything negative about Aaron Rodgers, but this is 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. So I think for what he's going to have and the people he's working with, I think it makes a lot of sense on paper, and it sounds like Ryan, from some of the things he said, thinks it's going to work out really well, the blend and the way he's going to fit in with everyone else.
Let's stay there on offense. You touched on the weapons. Let's go into that wide receiver room now, because there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Chris Henry Jr. Pat, are we entering maybe a territory of too high of expectations for him right out of the gate, or based off of what you know about his game and all the work that he puts in, that you think he's ready for that moment? He's going to be able to deliver on Saturdays early on the way Jeremiah did?
I think it's hard to come in after Jeremiah as that next star freshman, because Jeremiah did stuff that even the best Ohio State wide receivers didn't do before him, right? And we're talking about Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Jackson and Marv and all those guys. I would project, and I tend to be on the safer side of this, closer to what we saw from a Garrett Wilson or Marvin Harrison, where maybe you get Chris Henry, coming along as his freshman season goes. And, I'm not going to be surprised if he's on the field, but I think the adjustment to dealing with college cornerbacks, bigger, longer, dealing with these type of offensive schemes, I think he may take some time. And so I've told friends of mine and stuff that have asked what I thought about him. Like, look, I think the kid's going to be a star. I don't think you can expect everyone to come in and be Jeremiah Smith day one like Jeremiah was, because he's such a rare breed.
Pat Murphy with us, Bucknuts, talking Ohio State football. The offensive line on the right side, Padilla's job to lose?
That's a good question. I think it will be a competition. I think if Padilla had played more last year, maybe he has the leg up there. I think Gabe Van Sickle, look, with what we saw from Ian Moore and some of the stuff we've heard about him kind of coming out of and even during last season, like if he could take over the left tackle job and you can move Austin Sareveld to that right tackle position, which we've seen, or right guard, which we've seen him play before, like you could have a 3-man competition for that job. I know there's been some talk about maybe could Philip Daniels bump inside a spot. So I think they've got options, and I think they're going to wait and really let this play out and kind of see. The good news is a lot of these guys around whoever that guy is going to have a lot of experience, right? And I know some Buckeye fans were disappointed that they didn't go out and get some guys in the transfer portal. Talking to people at Ohio State, the excitement about this line is high. A lot of those guys got good experience last year, but are really coming into that point in their career where you expect offensive linemen to be at their best at the college level. So I think it's a good thing they've got these guys back, and I think you've got some options at that right guard spot, which is good. And then whoever doesn't win that, Josh Padilla can play, can be the backup at center. If Gabe Van Sickle doesn't win the job, he can move around and help with, some of that rotational stuff that they like to do. So I think it's a positive all in all.
Going over to defense, it looks like they're going to lose 3 first-round picks from that defense, maybe 4 if K-Mac slides into the first round somewhere. But between Arvell, Sonny, and Caleb, those guys are going to go, and probably early often. Which of those 3 position groups, which unit over there is ready to replace that guy? Who's in the best position to hit the ground running? Is it the safety unit, the linebacking core, or the defensive ends, or that outside linebacker unit?
Yeah, I'd probably go safety because I really like what Jalen McClain did last year. And I say that with the caveat of, replacing Caleb Downs is not easy, right? But I think they did a good job in the transfer portal to bring in guys that can play with Jalen McClain. And, Terry Moore is a guy, if he's healthy and can get back to where he was, and I think he is healthy, but if he can get back to where he was 2 years ago, he's not a like-for-like replacement for Caleb Downs, but he's really good. And Earl Little Jr., it sounds like he may be that nickel spot that Lorenzo played last year, but we'll see. But I think you've got 2 safeties in there with a lot of experience, a lot of talent. And so I think there's going to be competition. You've got some young guys that want to compete for that too. So, again, it's going to be tough to replace any of those guys that might go in the first round. But I think at safety, even as good as Caleb was, you've got guys with experience that can step in. And at some of the other, at linebacker, you might be going to Riley Pettijohn, who hasn't played a ton. Same at defensive end if you go with some young guys. So I just think the safety position has the most experience, even if it wasn't at Ohio State coming back.
Well done, my man. Good job on the trivia as well. You nailed it.
Hey, keep Robert Thomas away. I want to keep him at the Blues. Let's not be projecting him to trades to the Blue Jackets earlier. All right, guys.
Just playing fantasy GM here in real life. That's all I'm doing.
Hey, if he ends up here, it's fun. He's a hell of a player.
Well, if he ends up here, that means somebody that they thought highly of was gone. So
that's true.
That would be the part where I probably wouldn't happen, and there's about 22 minutes left to make that happen. All right, bud. Great. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
Pat Murphy, our guy, bucknuts.com, covering Ohio State football on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, so you got 2 minutes to tell this story. The Cam Newton, why is he in the news?
Cam Newton is in the news because he has a take that it is Arch Manning's fault that this quarterback class is one of the worst, as he put it, the worst in 2 decades.
Wouldn't it be more...
Arch would have saved it? Is that what he's claiming?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be more of Dante Moore's fault than Arch's? Because he was supposed to be the second quarterback off the board.
Minute 8 seconds.
This is the absolute worst quarterback draft class in the last 2 decades. And you want to know who's to blame? Who is it? Arch Manning.
He ain't even in this draft class.
Exactly. he was supposed to be. This is not a beat on Arch Manning not being a good football player. This debate is about Arch Manning not developing fast enough to be what everybody, including myself, expected him to be. When we look at this year's draft, you got Fernando Mendoza, you got Todd Simpson, Nussmeier, Carson Beck, Diego Pavia. You got all these different quarterbacks that it's like, okay, I don't really see no franchise quarterbacks. I just don't see it. Now hear this out, though. All right. The decision for Arch Manning to go back to Texas now can potentially put the 2027 quarterback class better than we probably have ever seen.
And we do that every single
I got a couple
year.
classes for you guys that could rival it.
Okay, let me give you two of them.
Probably 2022.
Thank you, Kenny Pickett. Come on
That's
down.
right. Because
Your
there's
boy.
and Maddie's boy's in
It's your
that draft.
And then
your guy's in that draft. Ritter.
Oh God.
Yeah. Guess who else is in that draft? My boy. Malik Willis.
Oh my goodness.
All three of us are covered.
You know who actually saves that draft?
Which one?
22?
Yes.
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Oh,
Mr. Irrelevant. Give him his theme music.
Come on.
Oh, I booked
It's too late now.
DJ?
All right. Purdy saves that one.
Shout out to Mr. Irrelevant.
2013 is irredeemable. I don't care what Geno Smith did at the past few years of his career.
All right, we're coming back.
EJ Manuel.
And we're going to try to hit a buzzer beater because there's a big record that could or will be broken tomorrow. We may be with the man who has to hand it over. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you. The Meatloaf! The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it. And maybe those botched garage floor coatings that you've had in the past have put you off of ever getting it fixed. Well, my friends, let me tell you, the people at Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings want you to know there is a fix out there. They can make your garage floor gleaming, glistening, look like a new car showroom. You call Comer and Cross at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they will come out with their pros, no subcontractors, and install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in just one day. Yeah, this floor is guaranteed to never chip, crack, or even show tire lift like epoxy or paint can. Never going to have that problem with Comer and Cross. Call them today, 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. It's that easy. 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or you go to comercross.com. That's C-O-M-E-R cross.com. Get a new garage floor with Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings today.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org today.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But but we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas, for On the Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, I'm going to tell the truth first. I'm pretty jacked about this because had the privilege of running to a lot of great athletes at Ohio State over my time, and this man is just salt of the earth. And what a gifted player he was at Ohio State. Went on to win a championship with my Bulls as well. And boy, when he hit his swing here at Ohio State, he was nothing but a blur. He could not be stopped. And today, he still is, almost 40 years later, the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State in basketball, our guy, Dennis Hopson. Hop, it's going to be great to talk with you. How you feeling?
Good, Ed. How you doing, man? Long time. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
Good.
This is an absolute pleasure. When I tell you that you still own the record and that you've owned it for almost 40 years, how much pride do you take in that?
A lot, because you're talking to I was going to say a young man, but you're talking to an old man that had no expectations when I left Toledo, Ohio, coming into Ohio State. So some of the things that I was able to accomplish, it means a whole lot to me, because again, I didn't have those expectations. So again, man, it's special to me. I'm happy for Bruce and his family, and more importantly, I'm happy of his commitment to the Ohio State University for the 4 years that he gave them.
Yeah, and Dennis, this is Matt. Appreciate your time, and especially on such a big weekend. I want to ask you, though, from your perspective, just about Bruce's game, because we've been watching him for the last few years just evolve into one of the conference's best and one of the best in the nation. So watching him go about his business, what do you appreciate most about how Bruce Thornton gets down out there on the floor?
His balance and his footwork. I think basketball is all about balance and footwork. And that's what allows him to score the basketball the way that he does. Also, the way he plays angles and the way he can get to the free throw line, and he shoots the ball extremely well. So again, I think all those things have allowed him to be a productive and efficient player during his time at Ohio State. And hopefully he'll continue to do that so they can make a run in the tournament.
All-time leading scorer, Dennis Hopson, with us here on Rothman and Ice. When you got to Ohio State, I'll take you back to where you were talking about that. What was that transition like? Because you didn't come in, like you said, as this instant star who was scoring all these points. You had to work for it. You worked your way up, freshman, sophomore year, and then you hit your stride with Coach Williams. Talk about what it took for you to become the guy you were at Ohio State.
Well, a lot of people don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Basketball wasn't a part of my DNA at a young age. And I really didn't start loving the game until the end of my freshman year, going into my sophomore year at Ohio State. And I started committing myself to a lot of film and studying my opponent. So, again, I was able to take baby steps and build myself up into a decent player at the university. But again, I think once I made the commitment and once I started to understand who I was, because coming out of Toledo, or out of high school, I should say, I just played the game of basketball. But when you get to certain levels, you have to really understand the game of basketball. And I started to understand it. And again, I think that's what allowed me to become a decent player every year. And I know that first year, I think I averaged like 5 points a game, then 9 points a game, and then 20, and then 29 points a game. So it was all because of my commitment, film study, and understanding the game. And then I'm going to tell you guys another thing that was very important. I played with a group of guys that allowed me to be who I was. I think sometimes your growth can be stunted because of jealousy and envy. And I played with a group of guys that allowed me to just go out and play the game, and they expected me to do certain things, and they gave me the ball in certain positions and certain spots, and I was able to be productive.
Let's talk about the group of guys that are around Bruce right now, because they got a big game at home against Indiana tomorrow, as you know, and you got Mobley and you have Royal and these guys that have been key contributors. So just the cast around Bruce Thornton right now, Dennis, what are you seeing from those guys?
I think it's a very good supporting cast. I like the fact that if he takes a break, I'm not going to say he can't score, because he can score when he wants to score. But, he plays so much to where I see that he likes to take breaks, which is okay. But when he's taking a break, those other guys are very supportive, and they're stepping in and filling in the gaps for whatever the team needs at that time. And again, I think they're starting to click, they're starting to gel, and if they can continue to do this, I think they can make a decent run in the tournament.
I know you're going to be pulling for him tomorrow. That's the guy you are, and I assume you're going to be there.
I will be there. I'm ready to head out in a little bit.
Okay. My friend, 83 to 87, 2096, your legacy is cemented forever, and I know you'll be happy to pass the torch when and if that happens tomorrow. This was really nice of you. You be well, and hope to see you soon. Thanks, Hop.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yep. The great Dennis Hopson. Who, as he told us, if he was in a different mindset coming out of high school, if he really had that basketball DNA, as he said, this record would have been untouchable. And he was playing an era that didn't have a three-point line, not till the end. And the fact that Gary Williams, his coach, saw so much in him and said, we're running with you. That's when everything went
locked in
into a blur.
Yeah, he really locked in.
And, just proud of the man he is, the player he was, and then to have that title with my Bulls in 91. So what a career, and so happy he's going to be in the building tomorrow. So that will be cool. So to tell the truth, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
He'll break the record tomorrow. I think he'll get to 12. 11 to tie, 12 to pass, and it'll be incredible. A career for him and an incredible career for Hop, and a record that stood for, like I said, almost 40 years. I take a lot of pride in that because the funny part about this would be that I think Burson got his steals record, and now Bruce will get this one. And he played with Jay. So it was I'll have to go back and look at that, where he is in the other ones, because, man, he had a lot of game.
I think it's going to happen tomorrow for sure, and so that'll be a great moment for both Bruce and Buckeye Nation and Dennis. And Dennis has embraced it, and like you said, he's happy for Bruce, and a lot of people are going to be happy to see that guy check that box. And then if that comes along with a win, feels like there's a chance that that's going to come along with this brand getting into the tournament, which we haven't seen in a few years. Hey, before we go, quick reminder, you missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Common Man and Timmy coming up next on a Friday. Pizza Madness round of 32 is here, and it is also Go to Jail Friday.
All right, we will wish you guys a great weekend and enjoy the sports. There'll be a lot of stuff with the Buckeyes and, of course, the Jackets playing on Saturday night as well. We'll come back and talk with you again on Monday at noon. Be safe. Thank you for listening. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.